Welcome to the 2021 WAFL Premiership season. For Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival GUV with an SUV-inspired design and spacious seating for all 8 passengers.
And state footy is back as the SANFL take on the WAFL here at the magnificent Adelaide Oval. Glorious conditions too. Sun is shining here, just a light breeze, and can't wait for this game to get underway. We're only about 5 minutes away from the start, and whether you're joining us on SENSA or SENWA, welcome. My name is Paul Bonsor. Alongside me, Mark Ross. Rossi, state footy's back, isn't it great?
Oh, it's exciting, isn't it, Bonds? And beautiful day once again in Adelaide. We just keep getting perfect weather of late. A bit cooler than it's probably been for a few weeks.
Yeah, a little cooler today.
No, look, honestly, state footy, after having the last 12 months of the COVID situation, weren't able to play last year, obviously. And I know it's the pinnacle for all state league players in Victoria, South Australia, and obviously in WA to be able to represent their states in these competitions. And there's a lot of players who are looking forward to watching today.
And just seeing both those state jumpers, the yellow jumper of WA with the big swan and the red state jumper of South Australia, which we know and love so well here in Adelaide. It's just great to see the best players from these two competitions go at it today.
It is, yeah, and both actually stand out, that's what you're mentioning with the jumpers. They're really quite noticeable, aren't they? A few of the SA boys that we know, obviously far better than we do some of the WA boys, that they even look a little bit different with the different colours on, don't they? Some of those players, we know most of them, but you can get caught up with a little bit with, oh, hang on, that's not who I thought it was, because it was a different number.
I'm sure there'll be a couple of errors early on my behalf, but recognising players. But it's just great to be here. And part of a double header, obviously it's the first game. The other game later tonight, which you can catch on AFL Nation, is Port Adelaide and the Bulldogs, and that'll be a cracking game as well.
Yeah, that'll be a ripping game. You wouldn't want to miss that one, I don't think. With either here live on the radio or TV, whatever you can get yourself in front of.
And the gates have only just opened sort of 5 minutes ago, and there's already people streaming in. So that's good, people getting here early to watch this clash. Some of the players, who are you looking forward to on both sides? Let's maybe talk about WA first.
Yeah, I know reasonable about WA and some of the players that are playing today. In my past, I've actually watched a few over a number of years, but I'm actually looking forward to watching Jai Bolton, the way, the Claremont lad and the way he goes about it. He's won 2 Sandover medals now. He's a star of the competition. Ever consistent and reliable. I like Sam Fisher from Swan Districts. I've watched a bit of Sam over the years as well, and I remember he was with the Sydney Swans for a little while.
Yes.
On their list, and he'll be exciting to watch today. He'll be wearing number 9. Matty Parker, who was at the Saints recently, wasn't he? Back at South Fremantle this year. Really good, exciting forward. Can actually do a lot of damage. I'll be interested who matches up from him on South Australia. He might get, I was thinking it might be Prouty, but he might have a little
maybe Luke Thompson.
Yeah, it might be Luke Thompson.
One of those two, I would have thought.
And there's a young lad playing, he looks like he should be riding the horse in the Melbourne Cup this year, but Tyrone Thorne, and he's got a bit of pace, and he's exciting. So
toss just about to happen. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. And the state game is brought to you by Kia and introducing the all-new Kia Carnival GUV with an SUV-inspired design and spacious seating for all 8 passengers. So Lee Kitchen and Jack Hayes in the middle. Coin goes up, and WA have won the toss, and we'll kick to the Cathedral end at Adelaide Oval.
Left of your dial.
Left of your of your radio dial, into your left speaker. South Australia kicking to the Riverbank stand end.
Just on the South Australian boys, what I'm probably looking forward to them the most is a lot of the guys that have yet to play state league footy. State football. Hayden Sampson today, the son of former Crow and South Adelaide legend. Campbell Coombe, who won the McGarry medal here in 2020, and this will be his first state game. It'll be really exciting to watch him. Eamon Wilkinson from South Adelaide, who's had a tremendous 18 months or so as a small forward. And even Sam Rowland, and this is a great story, I reckon.
Yes.
We watched the Eagles a couple of weeks ago against North Adelaide in the Anzac Day game, and Rowland was outstanding that day on Louis Hender.
Yes, shut him out
Our
of the
mate.
game.
Yeah, he did. He
And won the medal on that day.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how they go. In fact, I'm looking forward to seeing how all 23 blokes go on both lists, because there's a lot of exciting players out there.
So players just moving into their positions. We're not far away from a bounce. And you see Bryce Gibbs, Riley Knight in the middle. Some names you'll know. Greg Clark, Lee Kitchen in there for WA. And it'll be Galt against Noel in the ruck.
So young West is on the wing out here on Goldsworthy. Young West, that's Robbie West's son. Robbie West won a Sandover medal back in the day. He actually spent a bit of time at Port Adelaide, believe it or not, the Port Adelaide Magpies. Okay, Robbie West. So,
all right, here's the first bounce. Both ruckmen go up. Noel won that down. Kicked off the ground by Clark, straight to Broadbent. And the South Australians come out to the wing. Riley Knight had a little bit of a fumble, got the handball to Joey Haynes. Onto the right boot to half forward, and a good mark in defence there by Pearson, WA. In fact, it's Eadley. Eadley down the line, Parker over his head, and in the safe hands of Chris Curran. Curran goes sideways to Noel in the centre of Adelaide Oval, comes back to Curran. Looks like Curran might have the job on Matty Parker early.
good matchup. That'll be really good to watch.
He kicks towards the boundary line. Goldsworthy, the left footer. And there's going to be a 25-metre penalty here. We probably didn't have time to go through some of the rules. We are using the last disposal. It's Goldsworthy inside 50 and on the chest of the leading Jack Hayes, the skipper of South Australia. And he's marked it probably about 45 metres out on about a 45-degree angle.
Both from the Eagles, obviously Goldsworthy, Jack would know Goldsworthy's dangerous left leg and where to run to, and he's done exactly that, run to the right spot, and he's been hit on the chest with ease. Beautiful lead though, right into some open space.
So Hayes crosses 50, the right footer looked pretty good off the boot. South Australia have the first goal in the state game. Their one goal, and WA yet to score on the Balfours scoreboard. Balfours are for the game.
What I noticed really early too was the enthusiasm of the SA boys there to get around. I mean, they were almost running in as it was coming off the boot. Every man on the ground towards Jack there to congratulate him on the kicking for goal. But beautifully set up by Goldsworthy, as we said. He got a 25-metre penalty. He didn't waste any time. Jack ran into that space and he hit him up quickly. I like Michael Knowles' follow-up in the middle of the ground there early, though, wasn't it? I mean, anyone that remembers the state game from a couple of years ago in Perth, where Michael won the medal for South Australia, he was outstanding that day, and he started this game really well.
So we're back in the middle. Partington and Kitchen standing next to each other. That'll be a good battle as well. That bounce favoured Noel, but Bolton did well for WA. Just hacks it out of the middle. Going to centre half forward. Delahunty's there. Kitchen butted up. Delahunty did well, got the handball out. A lovely little vision. Went sideways, Kitchen, and he found Galt. The ruckman just faded into the forward line, and he'll have a shot. He's about 40 metres out, not much of an angle, only about 5 degrees.
How's the vision from Kitchen? Beautiful vision there. I mean, he just, out the corner of his left eye, you must have seen Galt moving into the space there. He just had a quick glance with just a little chip kick, got to him beautifully. Great play.
So Galt looking for the quick reply, and that's fading off to the left. So minor score to WA. So South Australia 1 goal. WA 1 behind on the Balfours scoreboard. Balfours are for the game. We've gone 3.5 minutes in the first term.
Great kick.
Was an excellent kick from full back. The mark wasn't taken on the far side. Here's Bolton, the fend off. Got around on the left boot. Dangerous kick. Parker's underneath it. Went with the one hand. Couldn't take it. Little kick forward from Clark. Off the side of the boot, rolling towards the boundary line. And goes out of play. We'll have a throw in the forward pocket for WA. And Rossi will go through those rules. In fact, they're calling it last disposal rule. So in South Australian footy, we have the last touch, although there's a turnover here. Here's Thorne. Thought he got taken a little bit high. Umpire said holding the ball. Maybe a little bit lucky there, the South Australians. Proud. Comes out in the pocket, Haynes. Finds Goldsworthy on the lead, still at half-back. Wobbly old kick into the centre of ground is going to be chopped off by Jai Bolton for WA. Parker's all by himself inside 50. And then played on. Sutcliffe wrapped him up. Kitchen just got it. Again, the pressure's on in the middle. It's forced forward by WA. Haynes leads in the race. He's got Goldsworthy in support. Sweeping handball. Out the other side to Spina. And Spina finds Stengel at half-back.
Great kick by Spina then to head up to Stengel. It was a good lead, but great kick.
Went short to Gibbs. Umpire called play on. Stengel going again. I reckon that's actually that's Sampson, Hayden Sampson. He got the free kick, didn't have the footy and was held on to. He goes short to Partington. Outer side wing, looking to switch it. And now just drives down to half forward. Big pack of players, 4 or 5 in it. Well read off the pack by Sutcliffe. Gave it to Hayes. McBean now swings around on the right boot and is offline. Through for a minor score.
Just got outside their men there, the South Australian boys, didn't they? They, you know, as they were chipping it around, they could notice every South Australian player that got the ball then in their hands was outside his West Australian opponent. So they just need to tidy that up a bit, WA, and make sure they get closer to their men. Martinez
got it to Schlensog. And marking it, no. Thought it marked it just on inside the line, but it was outside the line, Schoenfeld. So South Australian to attack again. A big fly from Wilkinson. Went up and down, couldn't take the mark. Stengel, little chip kick is blocked. South Australian still with possession. Goes out to the far side at half forward. Coming through as Sampson, dropped the footy, umpire called play on. McBean, tackled there by Schlensog, and we'll have a stoppage just inside the forward 50 for South Australia.
Tackling from both teams has been excellent so far. Lots of little fumbles around, so each team know their opponents are about the place.
The free kick here, some holding in the ruck battle. So Galt gives it to England, to Bolton. Jai Bolton goes short. Schlensog. He goes back, switching. And the WA team will come out to the grandstand side of Adelaide Oval. It's marked by Declan Mountford. He goes short to England. Callan England. Nice kick in the Marsh direction. He's got the player running. WA look good here. They've got some run. Schoenfeld to Kitchen. Drives it long to the pocket. And in the pockets, Keitel marks it on the chest. Good attacking footy through the middle of the ground, Rossi.
Oh, it was beautiful footy. What they did there, they just ran really hard in numbers, right stream through the centre of the ground. And obviously, the key to any run like that is to actually use the footy correctly. And they did it beautifully all the way through and have an opportunity from the Eddie Beck's pocket over here in South Australia.
Is it going to be renamed now?
Oh, we're going to have to name it something.
For now, it's still the Eddie Beck's pocket. Not a bad kick from Keitel. It's right there, still in play. South Australians will run it out through Haynes. Goes wide. Schoenfeld, first one there, this way, that way. Wants some support, doesn't get it. They've turned it over. But the kick was smothered. Still, they butter up. Cam Sutcliffe's had a bit of the footy early.
On here.
He got it to Wilkinson inside 50. Oh, running back with the flight. That was courageous from the two WA players. And Schenschlag kicks the ball out to Schoenfeld, still at half back. Here's Rogers, Bailey Rogers. Running the ball. It's non-stop action at the moment.
It's ping pong.
Jai Bolton into the pocket all by himself. There is Ninette. And Cody Ninette has a shot at goal. Missed to the right-hand side. So through for a minor score. WA 2 behinds. South Australia 1-1 on the Balfours scoreboard. Balfours are for the game. Ball's come out to the wing in front of the grandstand side.
It's a great kick by Reynolds. That wasn't such a great kick.
No, it was by Curran it was.
Curran it was. And
went out of bounds, and WA will take the relieving free kick. Into the middle of the ground goal, but the umpire's seen something here. I think it's a 25 metre.
It's Michael Knoll, I reckon it's against. He must have just crept over the mark. The umpire wasn't happy with something he saw.
So, again, a couple of these different rules in this state game. So it is a last touch rule, so any disposal. Quickly, the handball is off to Matty Parker. Drives it long, goes for home. Minor score. He's looked good off the boot.
He did. The umpire moved late to his right. What I'm noticing, Curran's really letting Parker go up towards the footy, and he's actually dropping back to be a spare man a little bit. That might become a little bit more dangerous if WA start to use the ball a bit better. So I have to watch that one.
So Sammy Rowland marked it, got it to Campbell Coombe at half back. Went short to none. Outer side wing, Hosey led up, took a nice diving mark. Lachlan Hosey spent a bit of time at North Melbourne. Now back at the Bays, at Glenelg.
Lots of similarities between him and Parker and the way they play their footy, I reckon.
So he drives to half forward. Michael Knowles there. The handball comes out the back to Stengel. Tyson Stengel inside 50. Low drilled kick towards goal. Misses to the right-hand side. Minor score. So South Australia 1 goal 2. WA 3 behinds on the Balfour scoreboard. Balfour's are for the game.
I think both teams will be looking for quarter time already here, Bonds. They've she's full pace up and down the ground and goes from one end to the other. It's a bit like basketball at the moment. Whoever scores, they'll slow it down.
There's some good skills early, as you'd expect from the best players. As soon as I say that, Schenschlag kicks into the man on the mark. Down the line and in front is Luke Thompson for SA. Goes to Broadbent. In the middle of the ground, Sammy Rowland.
He's out here.
So Rowland out the other side. He's got a player in Jared Allman. The left footer. Inside 50 again. Well done by Martinez. Chopped off the kick and thumped it out of bounds in the forward pocket. So we'll have a stoppage inside South Australia's forward 50.
It's been a couple of times when South Australia have gone inside forward 50, you feel like they're going to score with the free men and open space. But the WA boys have defended so well, haven't they? You just called it then. They've rushed back a couple of times in numbers to defend, and then they're rushing in front of their opponents at times to defend. It's great to watch. Galt
got the tap down. Little dribbly kick. Pearson's there. He was tackled, got the handball back. He's got support. And that's Rogers. So Rogers got the kick out of the danger zone. South Australian have the numbers here. Rowland to Knight. Back to Sam Rowland. Partington. Faked the handball. Kicked it to the top of the square. Danger spot. Hosey's there. Round the corner. Sutcliffe. One bounce. Through the goals. Second goal on the board to South Australia off the boot of Cam Sutcliffe. They're 2-2. WA 3 behinds.
What a classy finish from Cam. He's been known to do that over here in South Australia for the Port Magpies. He was captains in the SANFL competition, and he's been a really dangerous forward. I mean, he made his name for himself at Fremantle when he was playing over there as a defender. But since coming back to South Australia, he's really cemented his spot as a midfielder forward. And there, he's just read it off the pack, spun onto the right. Had a pretty good bounce though, didn't he? The gods will certainly look on him in that. Yeah. So, but we mentioned it a couple of times already. It's really a bit of a basketball sort of slash ping pong tennis style of game at the moment, where it's just going from end to end. It's the team who's going to make the most of the opportunities they have going inside forward 50 that are obviously going to prosper the best. And at the moment, that's South Australia, because WA have certainly been good moving forward. They just haven't been able to score a goal yet.
Delahunty into the ruck for WA, and later tackle after he got the tap and won the free kick.
It was a great tackle too.
Was a great tackle. Scrubby kick forward. No one's really got possession. The ball's on the grass at half forward. Comes out to Goldsworthy. Gives that left boot again and just bounces out on the full in front of Reynolds. Free kick on the far side. Go the way of Eardley. So Eardley down the line. Good mark. Strom at half forward. Inside 50, top of the square. Here's Parker. Tried to fend off. Got tackled. It was pretty good too, the tackle. Umpire called play on. Connor West picked it up. One grab around the corner. Minor score. So just can't find the middle of the sticks, WA at the moment. They're 4 behinds. South Australia 2-2.
Getting plenty of footy, WA, as you just said. They just haven't been able to find the big sticks, have they? They keep veering left or right with the kicks inside 50, but if they keep persisting, you know it's going to come for them, because their ball movement's been excellent.
It's the state game live at Adelaide Oval. Ball's at half-back, umpire called play on. It's just non-stop action, and we're going to have a stoppage here. No, umpire's seen a free kick. It's going WA's way for a high tackle. He's on the bottom of that pack. Looks like Matty Parker, it is.
Certainly got his own look, Matty Parker, hasn't he?
Got to love it.
Like
Inside, Keitel flew high, couldn't take the mark. He's got it at ground level. Good tackle from Haynes. Knocked him off the ball. Well done by Ninette. His little snapshot just cut off by the South Australians. Riley Knight drills a ball to Hosey at half-back. It's the state game for Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival. Australia's first GUV. Bryce Gibbs gives it to Knight on the wing. Down to half-forward, Reynolds uses his body very well and marked in front of Eardley. Reynolds swings around, just puts it to the top of the square. It's all WA here. In fact, they sport each other. Stengel, outside of the boot, has missed. Through for a minor score. Bit of a let-off there, WA. All three of them went up together.
Well,
Stengel stayed down.
There's one rule I learned as a kid. Learn to kick both feet, as simple as that. Stengel there, should have gone onto his left.
Martinez ran the ball out, but then kicked it out on the full. South Australia through Sampson, goes to Gibbs. He's right on 50, goes towards goal. This is going to be offline and off hands of the big South Fremantle backman Schlensog. And a minor score for South Australia. We've gone 15 minutes in the first term. SA 2 goals for, WA 4 behinds.
Courage.
Good kick out, comes to the back. Sam Rowland, little chip kick in the Goldsworthy direction. Good courage, running back, didn't know what was coming at him. Took the mark just on 50. Right on the boundary line though, so goes towards the goal square, and it's all WA back there. And off hands and through for a minor score. Bit unlucky, Pearson. I thought Chad Pearson should have got a free kick there.
No, I don't think, mate, he should have.
Yeah, he should have.
He should have got a free kick
question.
there. The player just ran straight at him and took him into the post as well, but you know, if they lose by a point, they're not going to be overly happy.
Kick out to the far side. Big pack of players. Goldsworthy getting the footy a little bit early. Put it inside 50. And the little chip kick from Eardley found Martinez. Still at half-back for WA, far side.
Matty Goldsworthy's getting a lot of footy, as you mentioned, Bonds, but he hasn't lowered his eyes enough at the moment. He's sort of blasting it forward. He's normally a little bit better than that. So maybe the nerves at this level, you know, that state game first time for a while, are just playing a part.
Jai Bolton went short to Connor West. Just offensive side of centre, outer wing. Drills it in the Delahunty direction. Off hands, the front of the pack. WA have the numbers here. Connor West is in there working hard. It's on the bottom of the pack. Ball just slipped out. Delahunty did well, went backwards to Pearson's, to West. West drives it. Well done by Harry Marsh, but had to give it up because the tackle was laid. Comes back to Rowland. Allman, thumping left boot towards forward 50. Reynolds flies, can't take the mark. Here he is, dribbles towards the goal, bouncing, and bounces to the right. Another minor score. So it's 2 goals, 6 to 4 behinds. Both teams inaccurate in the first quarter here. Thanks to Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival, Australia's first GUV.
I tell you, I won't be happy there, mate, and that's his Bay's teammate in Hosey. He was on his own by about 5 metres, Hosey, running into the open goal there, and Reynolds just went for the glory goal, and without that came the point.
Thorne got it to Fisher, but the little dribbly kick forward was no good. Just ended up in the hands of Spina. And umpire's seen something here. Looks like it's going to be a 25 metre. So we've got 25 metre penalties today, not 50. We've got 23 players in the squads, 110 interchange. So this is Goldsworthy again. Goes to the top of the square. Hosey's there. Couldn't take the mark. Stengel stayed down. And they all ran away from him. Stengel outside of the boot. It's curling back. What a fantastic goal from Tyson Stengel.
Well, I just mentioned, about 3 minutes ago, it'd be handy if you had a left, mate, and he's just done exactly the same kick on the right and bent it around this time for a goal. I'd still prefer to see him kicking it with his left. But how's his movement from that position? Once again, it was Goldsworthy who's racking up the possessions in this first quarter. It got it in quite deep. Stengel he didn't really balk. He just stopped and everyone went past him, and he flicked backwards almost in regards to his running motion. Steadied a little bit and then just gave a little bit of a check side on the right and it went right through the middle. But South Australia they're looking quite dangerous at the moment. Look, they've had 9 shots on goal for the 3 goals, 6 that they've kicked. I think WA have actually defended quite well, but what can happen under this is an avalanche of the inside forward 50s, and that's what's happening in this last 6 or 7 minutes of play.
Paul Bonsor and Mark Ross here on SENSA and SENWA for the state game here at Adelaide Oval. As the umpires found a free kick. Looks like it's going the way of Jai Bolton. WA players wanted to play on. Lee Kitchen's going, why couldn't we? Fair enough, question too. So Bolton comes wide. Martinez took the mark, kept running. Beautiful footy. Drives to the top of the square. Keitel had the fly, just went through his hands. Almost for WA. Good passage of play, went through for a minor score. So they rack up their 5th behind.
Martinez was excellent there, wasn't he? He just took the game on, attacked the goal square. Probably was in the really right position there for WA to take the mark in the goal square, but he just slipped through, and it's just the story of their quarter so far.
So the ball's worked around to the wing. Noel gave it to Coombe, inside 50. Oh, good strong mark in front. Schenschlag.
He's been good early. I like his defending.
Excellent work. He went out wide, and free kick's going to Pegarora. Chopping of the arms. Sam Fisher, the Sandover medalist, just couldn't quite beat Haynes, but out the back is Harry Marsh. Just stopped on a dime, and nice kick forward. Found Clark. Greg Clark goes in the Keitel direction, but it's going to be chopped off. Goldsworthy again. He's everywhere at the moment, the Eagle.
Touch number 10 that was for Goldsworthy for this quarter. He was having a ripping first quarter.
So he got it to Riley Knight, ends up in the hands of Sutcliffe. Cam Sutcliffe kick wasn't fantastic. Well cut up by Yeardley. But they've turned it over again, the Western Australians. Campbell Coombe, just a little snap kick around the corner. But here he is again, Schenschlag. Tough name, but a good footy player.
It's a good footy player's name, I reckon. It's a great name.
Comes out the back to Haynes. He goes to Sam Rowland. The switch is on. They come grandstand side, South Australia. Now Partington wants to go back the other way. Finds Coombe. Campbell Coombe. He's got Broadbent. He's got his fellow bald person.
On here. They're all the way.
Sutcliffe. Hosey at half forward. Drives it. Lovely kick to Riley Knight. Kicks into the pocket. Reynolds on the chest. Nice mark. So some pretty good footy.
Oh, that's elite ball movement from the half-back line with Broadbent, Sutcliffe, Reynolds, and Hosey. They've all got involved there. Partington actually started it with the switch. And
just didn't miss a target.
They didn't miss a target, and WA weren't able to get back quick enough on this occasion. And that's the difference. Moving forward, when you can do that, it makes the game look so easy.
So Luke Reynolds, the left footer, that one's going across the face. Don't even think it's going to score. It isn't. Went off hands and out of bounds. So we'll get a stoppage in the forward pocket. This is SA versus WA. Thanks to Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival, Australia's first GUV. We've gone 23 minutes in the first term on the Balfours scoreboard. Balfours are for the game.
Joe Bolton's been impressive this quarter, mate. He's had 9 possessions, 7 kicks, 2 handballs, 2 marks, a couple of tackles. It's been excellent.
Yeah, he has. Broadbent ran at the footy, so did West. West won that battle, gave it to Bolton, and then to Clark. Outer side wing, good mark, just inside the boundary line. Beautiful on the far side by Delahunty.
Beautiful kick by Clark then. Lovely leg.
Yeah. Delahunty wants to square it in the middle of the ground. Dangerous kick. Partington stood his ground, won a free kick. Going to play on the South Australians. Stengel to Knight. Running for him is Allman. Jared Allman, a little chip kick to Broadbent. They keep running the South Australians. Broadbent puts it out in front of McBean. Marks it half forward. Little kick inside is quality. And hits up Wilkinson. So Eamon Wilkinson will have a shot from just inside 50 on about a 45-degree angle.
The WA part of our audience that don't understand Wilkinson much or don't know a lot about him, a really smart, small half forward. He can catch it as well, though, and he gets to really good positions for his teammates to be able to kick it to him. And on that occasion, he just led straight at the leg of Sutcliffe, and he hit him up easily. Broadbent and Sutcliffe are a little bit easy to get mixed up today, aren't they?
I think it was Broadbent.
It was Broadbent?
Yeah, I think it was Broadbent, yeah. Sutcliffe's on the other side. But anyway, here comes Wilkinson. Kicks from 49. That's off the side of the boot. To the right-hand side, another minor score. And South Australia go to 3-7. WA just the 5 behinds. Thanks to Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival GUV with SUV-inspired design and spacious seating for all 8 passengers. WA worked it out to half back, but Coombe was there and kicked it out on the full. So WA will get the ball back. Just find it hard on occasions to get it past that wing position. They've turned it over a couple of times, so they're going to switch it this time. Out to this side, Chad Pearson in the back pocket. Grandstand side.
Chad needed to move that a little bit quicker then. He had a free teammate just down the line and he went back a little bit too slowly.
So Schenschlag took it about 40 metres out from goal, then switched it back to the other side.
And they're just trying to hold possession a little bit here, stem the flow down a bit.
Cameron Eardley went short and found Bolton.
Touch number 11 for Jai Bolton, who's scored 2, so he's up there with Goldsworthy getting a lot of the footy.
He's a good footballer. A couple of Sandover medals in his pocket. There's a free kick here going the way. I think it's going the way of Parker. It is. Delahunty was there as well, but Parker won the free kick. The tattooed Parker thumps it inside 50. Thompson is there for South Australia, thumps it towards the line. We'll have a throw in.
You mentioned Bonds earlier, how good WA were defending in their back 7 or 8, or however many they got rotating through there today. But the SA boys have been excellent, haven't they? Thompson, Haynes, Broadbent, Rowland, they've been outstanding down there.
As you would expect, we're seeing the best of the best. Connor West sold some candy, sold some more candy. Kicks towards goal. This looks pretty good. Oh, just hit the post. Geez, that's exciting from Connor West.
He's got some class about him, hasn't he? He's got some real movement. I haven't seen a lot of him, to be honest. I watched a bit of vision during the week and really liked what I saw. And so far today, he's really impressed me. And he was so unlucky then.
27 minutes gone first term. And the South Australians have it at half back. Bryce Gibbs went in the Wilkinson direction. Hosey's there as well. And it's gone out of bounds. Right in front of our commentary position here. Paul Bonsor and Mark Ross for SENSA and SENWA. It's a 19-point lead to the South Australians. Noel and Gaunt. Tap came down. Well taken by Edwards. Ben Edwards inside 50. Keitel out the back, and there's some holding here. It's going to Keitel. So Maxi Proud just grabbed the jumper. Umpire saw it. So Keitel will have a shot. He's well within his range. He's going to kick from just over 40 metres, about a 15-degree angle.
Got some real power, Keitel. Chasing after that footy then. Proud, he's no mug when it comes to running. He can keep up with the best of them, and the big fella Keitel was charged after that footy, and as you said, he just pulled on the jumper a little bit.
Is this the first goal for WA? It is! Puts it through the middle. Right on the siren here. Great work from Tyler Keitel. And on the Balfours scoreboard, Balfours, no matter what your club colours, Balfours are for the game. At quarter time, WA 1-6, South Australia 3-7. We'll take a short break and come back for second quarter action here from Adelaide Oval. This is the state game on SEN.
Want to win free coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just order a McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app.
Erdley's had... Erdley?
Erdley.
Get that one right, Rossi. He's had 9. And Schlensong's also had 9. I really like Blake. I've liked the way he's gone about his game across half-back. And Bailey Rogers too. He's been very elusive with his 8 disposals as well. Team-wise, if you're looking at both teams at the moment, it's actually fairly even. Kicked 78 to South Australia. WA have had 68, 38 handballs to South Australia, whilst WA have had 34. Marks SA are up a little bit there, 42 to 30. Tackles is pretty even. They don't actually have the clearances stats, but I noticed the hit-outs is in WA's advantage 5 to 2. And just for the WA people out there and the SA people, the free kicks, which we love to let people know, WA have doubled free kick count at this stage, 8 to 4. So wouldn't be able to pick that, to be honest. I reckon they've umpired the game very well, both umpires. Sorry, all three umpires.
Just about to get underway. There's a siren to start the second quarter. Action-packed first quarter. It's a good bounce. It was won by Galt. The kick goes in the South Australians' direction, though. Chad Pearson's got the handball sideways to Schoenfeld, and WA will work it out to the wing. Parker. He's come up from centre half forward. Has on the eastern side of Adelaide Oval. Drives into the pocket. Delahunty got a good piece of that. Thought he had enough of it too. Delahunty.
I reckon he was pretty unlucky not to be given that as a mark, to be honest. He more than controlled it. The South Australian opponent came in just the last second.
Yeah, Thompson came late. He's in the ruck now. Delahunty. Kitchens there, so is Gibbs. Gibbs fed the handball out to Sampson. Down the line and off hands. And we'll have a boundary throw in centre wing on the eastern side of Adelaide Oval.
He hasn't been overawed by the occasion, young Hayden Sampson, has he, in his first state game?
No, looks
he's looked quite good there at half-back and
very composed. There's a throw in. Delahunty got front position. Clark's in there for WA, and they just squashed their South Australian opponent in Michael Knoll. We'll get up, we'll have another stoppage there. Paul Bonsor and Mark Ross here on SEN for Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival GUV. Snap kick out of there from WA is marked at half-back by Luke Thompson for South Australia. So Thompson is going to go down the line. He's got Knoll leading for him, and a good spoil there from Eardley. Cameron Eardley's liked his game so far. Just always seems to be where the ball is, where it's going, reads the play well. Another throw in on the outer side wing. Nolan Gaunt. That one was a dead heat. Bolton tried to feed a little handball through to Clark. And again, we have players all over the footy. So the umpire will come in, we'll have another stoppage. This is like the way the game started. The ball was racing from one end to the other.
It's the first time I've seen the South Australian boys be able to get their arms around Bolton, though. He's got another clearance now.
A big unit, but he kicked it down the throw to Broadbent at half-back. Little chip kick into the middle of the ground. Ends up in the hands of Curran. Drives to the top of the goal square. McBean's there. Almost took it on the chest. Partington with him. He was tackled by Schlensog.
Schlensog.
Get it right.
McBean, a little bit unlucky not to get a free kick then. He was definitely being held on to when he was trying to lead for the footy.
Bolton, the fend off. Oh, and he dropped the footy. Good tackle from Stengel. And he wins the free kick. We'll go back and have a shot. He'll take probably Stengel's best. He'll kick from about 48 metres, only on about a 10-degree angle.
I praised Bolton less than 30 seconds ago and he shanked his kick and then he gets caught holding the ball. A kiss of death, isn't it, when you pump somebody up? He's been tremendous all game, so I'm not going to be too hard on him for that. That was just a ripping tackle by Stengel. That's what he does inside forward 50. He keeps that pressure on.
Came for the blind side too,
Stengel. He did, indeed.
Crosses 50. Not a bad looking kick off the boot, but it looks like it is sliding and just made the distance through for a minor score. So on the Balfours scoreboard, sorry, on the CNF Lawyers scoreboard, South Australia 3 goals 8, WA 1 goal 6. Coming to the commentary side, and Michael Knoll takes the mark, uncontested mark at half forward. In fact, the umpire's seen a free kick. It's going the way of Delahunty. Lachlan Delahunty swings onto the left. Flat kick in the Marsh direction. Well spoilt by Curran. Parker's there as well. Wrapped up in a high tackle, I thought. It's a bit unlucky there as Matty Parker, as Goldsworthy got him a little bit high.
He might have, mate, but if he didn't fumble, he wouldn't have got caught. So
Good
there
point.
you go.
Noel won the tap down. Kitchen first one there. Went through the legs of Bolton. Ends up in the hands of Gibbs.
It's a throw.
Throw. Clark goes towards the goal square, but the only one back there is Max Proud, the Glenelg skipper. He goes short out the other side.
They're on here, South Australia. They've got 3 in a row.
Sampson to, I was going to call Hosey, but that's Curran. He goes to the wing. Little fly from Wilkinson, off hands and out of bounds. So we'll have a throw in on the far side.
Needed to lower his eyes then, Curran. He had a couple on short, just a little dinky 20-metre kick in front of him, and South Australia had 2 to none, and they would have been able to run the ball further. He went for the longer option, and it wasn't a great one, to be honest. Pretty poor kick in the end.
Nolan Gaunt do battle. Give that one to Gaunt. Although Partington got it out the back and kicked it forward. Wilkinson might have got a free kick for in the back. Again, the umpire's letting him play, and the little chip kick has been marked by Stengel. Inside 50, McBean and Schlensog. McBean this way, that way, and it's out of bounds. Not sure if McBean got a kick on that one, or it's just going to be a throw-in. It will be a throw-in in front of the magnificent scoreboard here at the Adelaide Oval. Throw-in, McBean got front position. Footy's on the deck, and the umpire will cross himself and come in. We've gone 6 minutes in the second term, thanks to SANFL lawyers. Ball comes out, snapshot by Partington. Is all good. Luke Partington gets the 4th goal for the South Australians. They go to 4-8. WA 1-6.
What's for any WA and South Australian listeners that haven't got a TV in front of them, South Australia probably should have got a free kick then anyway. There was a really high tackle in that stoppage to, I'm pretty sure it was Coombe that was caught high, and it wasn't paid, and then Partington swooped onto the loose ball, picked it up and snapped it around his body. He's a beautiful finisher, Luke Partington, winning the McGarry medal here a couple of seasons ago in his first year back in South Australia after representing the West Coast Eagles for a couple of seasons. And look, he's an incredibly smart footballer, and he's very damaging around goals, as I've mentioned. South Australia, as we said in the first quarter, they're just sort of finishing a little bit better when they're going inside 50, and we're certainly having more opportunities to finish better when they go inside their forward 50. So smart finish by Luke, and yeah, it's a good game of footy at the moment.
It is 20-point lead on the SANFL lawyer scoreboard, but it's in attack for WA. Thompson just hacked it out of there, but it's coming back in a hurry. Kick from Gaunt inside 50, lands in the lap of Broadbent, who had Haynes running past. They do that a lot for South Adelaide and kicked it to their other South Adelaide teammate in Bryce Gibbs. He got it to Wilkinson. Wants to play on. That's not really the best option, a long handball, but it might come off. He chased it up again. Edwards, Ben Edwards, just got the handball back inside. Kick off the ground. It's going to be marked by Galt. Half back for WA. He's got one short. That's Fisher.
He's taken the honour so far, Gold in ruck, I reckon, against Michael Knoll.
Yeah, he's been good. Fisher to England. England wants to switch it. He goes to Pearson. And wider. WA just working it nicely here. Lovely half volley from Schoenfeld. Although he was a bit slow getting rid of the footy. Stengel laid a tackle there. And a high shot on Sampson ends up. Oh, great tackle from Thorne on Partington, and WA have turned it over. Here's England, inside 50, little handball over the top to Clark, straightens and thumps it through the middle of the goals.
It's called capitalising on your opposition's mistakes, and WA did it beautifully then. Broadbent handball, just a little bit astray. Partington certainly wasn't expecting the handball to come to him, I don't think. He was tackled from behind by WA, an opponent. The ball came free. I was watching Broadbent. He was chastising himself for the bad handball when the play was still alive. So he actually didn't play to the whistle. The handball came out of club. What a beautiful finish. It's not easy to kick goals from that pocket here at Adelaide Oval, and he's done it beautifully on the right leg and gets them back in the contest with only being 14 points down again now.
So on the SANFL lawyers scoreboard, South Australia 4-8, WA 2-6. Lovely goal there to Clark. As you called Rossi. Paul Bonsor and Mark Ross here for Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival. GUV. There was a bounce. Partington was tackled. Edwards working hard for WA. Partington got it out to Gibbs, but he just sort of fumbled the footy. Again, Edwards is in there. So is West. Little kick come out of that pack and landed in the lap of Matty Parker. He swings around on the right, puts it to the danger spot. Big pack of players there, and the umpire's found a free kick. It's more holding. It's going the way of Keitel. So Thompson grabbed the jumper, and Keitel will have a shot only about 25 metres out. Slight angle, maybe 10, 15 degrees. Should really slot this through for WA's third.
They're obviously worrying about his size and strength, Keitel, because that's twice now they've held his jumper, and he should slot this one right through from what we've seen early.
He's a good kick and slots it through. The third one on the board for WA. They go to 3-6. South Australia 4-8 on the SANFL Lawyers scoreboard.
Yeah, so just once again, 50-50 contest in the centre of the ground, getting a quick clearance out. I did notice that Jared Allman sort of ran into the centre square. Parker just ducked back about 3 metres out to the wing a little bit. And of course WA, so it's a bit of a pump when you do that, but WA won the clearance, got it out to him, and he was able to get it inside forward 50 really quickly, which gave him that opportunity to score that goal. And as we said, the big forward in Keitel's just making the South Australian defenders get a little bit edgy when he's on that lead, because he is a big boy, and both times his jumper's been held, and rightfully so. He's received a free kick and kicked the goal.
He leads well at the footy too.
Does.
Just straight at it. Back in the middle, Gibbs, who was tackled. Hamble went to West. And then to Bolton. Goes sideways to Matt Parker, who couldn't quite keep it in. The ball just bounced unkindly for him as it rolled out of bounds. So it'll be Broadbent to bring it back in for South Australia. Goes to Gibbs on the wing. We've gone 11 and a half minutes in the second term. 8-point margin to the South Australians. Beautiful kick from Gibbs, found Goldsworthy. Inside 50, Stengel on the lead. Geez, that's good footy from the South Australians.
Yeah, beautiful foot skills again by Goldsworth. Every time he's getting the ball in his hands now. I said he was a little bit scrappy with his disposal in that first quarter in the first 10 or 15 minutes. But since the game's settled and he's got the pace of it again, his footwork is elite going inside forward 50. And great lead from Stengel. And normally he's a pretty good finish, so we'll see how he goes with this shot for about 45 out.
Yeah, we'll kick from 45. 10-degree angle. Crosses 50. Little stutter step. The right boot looked pretty good off the boot. And through for another goal, the fifth one on the board for South Australia. And on the SANFL Lawyers scoreboard, what's your claim worth? SA a 5-8, WA 3-6.
It's his second. It's Tyson. He's actually starting to look really dangerous too. He's that small forward up there for South Australia. I've actually really enjoyed his game and watching the way he's gone about it. He's working incredibly hard to keep the ball inside forward 50 when he doesn't have an opportunity to score himself. He's laying tackles, putting on blocks, and really hunting the footy down when it's inside that forward 50 zone. So it's exciting for him. He's a young man with a plethora of talent, and you can't help but feel, even though he's had a little bit of mischievous stuff going off field in the last year or two, that an AFL club might still be watching him.
I'm sure they're watching him. We talked about and discussed in the mid-season draft for sure. No, and the bounce favoured Galt, so in fact it might be Delahunty in the ruck now. It is. So that one's recalled. Thrown up this time. And McBean went early, and laying a tackle is Sam Fisher on Riley Knight. So we have another stoppage. Not far from where we started. McBean Delahunty, that's in the back, isn't it, Ump? No, it isn't, he said. Crosses his arm. Thought Kitchen got one in the back there from Campbell Coombe.
I'm impressed by this WA umpire, mate. He actually makes really, really good decisions. He's been involved with a couple of holds and players that just fall forward. He doesn't fall for it. He makes you earn your kicks.
Connor West put on some dance moves to get out of the centre, but put it down the throat of Joe Haynes. He swings it wide to Allman.
Ooh.
And that wasn't a best kick from Allman either. Martinez met it, gave it to Bolton, but they're going to turn it over. Tried to get it back in the 1-2, and the South Australians read that better. Delahunty under the footy, good hands. Plays on quickly to Pearson. Martinez is running. Little give to Pearson, had to be quick, and Pearson's brought down in a tackle. Umpire called play on. Thought he got it out. Bit unlucky, Jared Allman. South Australia have it now. Broadbent in the middle of the ground. McBean running for him. Inside 50. Reynolds on the chest. The Glenelg players combined. And Luke Reynolds has marked it about 40 out on about a 40-degree angle.
Quick handballs, run, carry, and then a beautiful leg. Not too many 200-centimetre forwards can kick the ball like that, running inside 50. And for the WA listeners, Liam McBean's been the dominant key forward in South Australia for a couple of years now, and that's one of the reasons at ground level, and his foot skills are elite.
So the left footer Reynolds is right there. Does the double fist, and they kick another goal. They go to 6-8 South Australia, WA 3-6 on the CNF Lawyers scoreboard. We've gone 15 and a half minutes in the second term here at Adelaide Oval.
Once again, it was, as I've just mentioned it 20 seconds ago, that it was just the crisp cleanness of the ball movement coming out of the stoppage on the far wing that was able to, South Australia running in numbers. The minute they get the ball, you can see the Broadbents, the Hayneses, the Sampsons from their half-back line start sprinting through the middle of the ground, and then it obviously brings in Allman and the midfielders, Partington and Nunn and these types as well at the same time. And it'd be a bit like a tidal wave coming towards you if the WA defence, so there's not a lot they can do about it.
This time Delahunty got the handball out to Fisher. Schoenfeld tried to tap it to his own advantage. Clark has got the runner outside and Edwards. Good shepherd came. In fact, it's an illegal shepherd, the umpire's gone. I thought it was pretty good by Zach Strom.
I think he might have got him in the head, mate. That might have been the problem.
Bit of size difference there. Goldsworthy won the free kick. Now they'll clear it to the other side. Switch comes to Haynes, the western side of Adelaide Oval.
He's been good, Haynes. He's used the ball really well, and there's no exception.
Drilled it to Spina. Alex Spina in the middle of the ground finds Riley Knight for McCrow. Back in the SANFL this year. And the lovely kick fends Goldsworthy on the non-preferred right boot to the goal square. And it's all WA. And Schlensog takes mark. As we said, he's been very impressive back there for WA. So is Chad Pearson. Gave it to Martinez. Dribbly little kick in the Fisher direction. Got it back. Schoenfeld. Edwards. Change direction. Goes back the other way. Delahunty. They got a man open here. It's Thorne. So Thorne runs towards 50. Puts it to the top of the square. Thompson in front. Proud's there as well. And they're going to get a stoppage here. The build-up from WA was excellent there, Rossi, and just couldn't quite hit a target inside 50.
Yeah, but it was exceptional when Swensong again. He's the one that read it off the best off Goldsworthy's boot to mop it up behind play, and then just a beautiful kick out of defence, and that opens it up for them, and they look really dangerous until this is the place, this is the spot though, that 25 to 30 out from goal. They're hitting quite often, but South Australia are mopping it up a lot, and it was just a clumsy free kick there.
Yeah, Cody Niet got high on Max Proud, and there's a push in the back to Martinez, so he'll get the free kick. He's about 60 from goal, wants to go quickly. He's got a player inside, it's Clark. Greg Clark takes the mark, and he'll go back and have a shot from just inside 50 on about a 20-degree angle.
I've liked his game, Clark, especially this quarter. He's got quite busy and used the footy well when he's had it in his hands. Let's see how he goes with his kick on goal. He's already kicked one. So
93 centimetres, good size. Kick just got underneath it a little bit and it faded to the left, though. Another minor score for WA. They go to 3-7 and SA 6-8.
193 centimetres is a Collingwood midfielder or a Carlton midfielder
That's
these
it.
days, isn't it, mate?
That's it.
It's unbelievable how big they are.
The kick out of defence hit Sampson, and he fumbled it across the boundary line, so we'll have a throw in. On the western side of the ground, still about 70 or 80 metres from the WA goal. And they get an answering one here. We've gone 19 minutes in the second term. I'd love a couple before half-time, WA. Here's the skipper, Kitchen, off the side of the boot. Well marked by Allman. Defensive 50. He's got the runner out wide. It's Curran.
Been busy.
He's been good. He goes to the middle. Dangerous kick. Riley Knight took a high shot and took the mark. Got straight up. That's courage. His kick was turned over though. Thorne around the corner, really didn't look. And Curran was there to mop up for South Australia. Another opportunity gone wasted for WA. Orman on the outer side. Hope you're enjoying the call on SEN. Paul Bonsor and Mark Ross here for Kia. Introducing the all-new Kia Carnival, Australia's first GUV. With the SUV-inspired design and spacious seating for all 8 passengers. South Australia still trying to work it out of their back line. Curran had a bit of a fumble, and his kick went to Thompson. Thompson had to pick it up on the bounce, and goes towards the wing. WA have the numbers here. Matty Parker dropped the footy, and here come the South Australians. Gibbs to Noel, little chip kick out in front of Sampson. Good pressure. Got it back to Sutcliffe. He's got support from Knight to Noel to Gibbs. Gibbs has to go back again, and Broadbent marks defensive side of the centre.
Far side, he didn't take it. He had him on.
Campbell Coombe drives it towards the 50-metre line. Hosey got up, couldn't take the mark, and the ball comes off hands and goes out of bounds right on the cross of 50. Looked like Clark might have been a bit worse for wear after that pack mark, but he's okay. He's up and about.
So Matty Broadbent then, if people were wondering what I was rattling on about in the background, he had Matty Goldsworthy on the far side out all by himself, and he just didn't look to his right. There was nothing wrong with the kick inside the centre square, but there was really nowhere to go after that. So
Parker tried to dodge a tackle. In the end, it came out the back to Pearson. Here's West, taken high after he kicked it, so downfield. The free kick will be taken by Cody Ninyet. And short to Clark, sideways. Running was West. Yeah, doing well here, WA. Trainer handballs ends up in Clark, but well intercepted by Rowland. Just got a hand in there that went in the Partington direction. Kick to half forward, Gibbs. A little kick forward into the pocket, into Hosey's direction, takes it on the chest. It was a wide open spaces, and he just ran into the gap, took the mark, under pressure, but a good solid chest mark from Lockie Hosey.
Set up from Curran from centre wing here, where he chopped the ball off. Good ball movement once again. How many times have we said that today? You wouldn't mind leading to big open spaces with Bryce Gibbs about to kick the ball, though, would you? I mean, he's a beautiful,
he's still
beautiful
one of the
right foot kick. Yeah, he's still elite at that level. There's no doubt. And Hosey, you'd normally say this is bread and butter for him. So we'll put the knockers on him and say this will go straight through the straight through the centre of the goals.
He'll kick from about 35, Lockie Hosey, and it's a wobbly old kick and hit the post. So the kiss of death from Mark Ross works. South Australia 6-9-45, lead WA 3-7-25.
Just trying to keep WA in the game, make it a contest. That's what I like. Good
Not
contest.
out of it, but they'd love a goal or two before half time. We've gone 22 minutes in the second term. Kick out to half back for WA. Comes out the back to Hayden Sampson. Gave it to Sutcliffe. Horrible little kick forward. Wilkinson went through his hands. Chad Pearson did well. Connor West back to Pearson. Still under pressure, WA, but they're going to work out. Good patience. Oh, chopped off by Broadbent. Use Reynolds inside. Reynolds just straighten it. Gibbs has a sit and takes the mark. He's only about 10 metres out. But again, the constant pressure, the constant inside 50s. And Bryce Gibbs will have a shot from about 15 metres out on about a 30-degree angle.
A lot of forwards in Reynolds' position then would have taken a shot from goal. And the class for him to look across the face and see, even though it was 2-on-1, that Gibbs had the sit, and then he had confidence that Gibbs would take the mark. Beautiful passage of play by South Australia.
So 20-point lead. Bryce Gibbs can make it 26, and he does. So South Australia go to 7-9. WA 3-7 on the CNF Lawyers scoreboard. Just not what the WA side needed, Mark Ross.
Certainly not, and what they also need to be very aware of, WA, at the moment, is the destruction that Bryce Gibbs is having in this quarter alone. I think he's up to about possession number 11 for the quarter. He's kicked a goal himself. He's gone inside 50, as we said, and hit teammates on the chest. He's winning clearances, and he's really taken South Australia to probably that next level again this quarter, by an extra goal or two. So it's been a very good quarter of footy by him, and to be honest, it's been a bit of a scrappy affair a little bit this quarter. It's been a lot of turnovers, but he's certainly one who's putting his hand up to say, no, this is our game today, boys, and just follow me.
Delahunty into the ruck against Noel. It's a good bounce this time. Noel over the top, got the tap down. Kitchen was held, umpire saw it. So Lee Kitchen will get the free kick. And he plays on quickly. Puts it in the England direction. Broadbent just thumped him off the footy, and there's going to be a free kick here going the way of Riley Knight. As Keitel just got a little bit high.
Busy Riley, hasn't he? Another player that a lot of AFL clubs will be here watching today to see how he goes about his footy. Probably deserves another opportunity at AFL level after his brightling, sparkling form in the SANFL this year so far.
So just chipping it around the back line of the South Australians. Broadbent has it, still inside his defensive 50. Goes just over that 50-metre line and finds Riley Knight. On your commentary side, hope you're enjoying the call on SEN SA and SEN WA. Paul Bonsor and Mark Ross with you. Kick down the wing. Here's Edwards, but his handball was cut off by Partington. Long handball went in the direction of Gibbs. But well done, Edwards. He's gone back and won the footy. Round the corner from Mountford. Hasn't had much of footy first time we called him. But his clearing kick has landed in the lap of Riley Knight. Tried to get around the tackle of Ninette, but was unsuccessful. But the ball just fell out to Broadbent, who's got Haynes at centre half back. He goes short to Gibbs. Jeez, he just keeps running, Bryce Gibbs. Takes the mark inside 50, comes back to the centre circle, Broadbent. Round the corner, Delahunty, good mark, 2 grabs at half back over the top of Curran. They play on quickly, they're out now, the Western Australians. Zach Strom has it at half forward. Oh, the handball's cut off. Well done by Allman of South Australia. Just stopped what should have been an attacking foray for WA. Delahunty has it in the wing, the half volley. Did well, just pushed in the back as he kicked it. Umpire called play on, just letting him play the rumps. Michael Noel on the boundary line. Comes inside to Proud, now Partington. Looks up, what's he got forward? He's got Stengel on the 50-metre line. Tyson Stengel just puts it towards the goal square, running back. And WA have got the numbers here. Again, the pressure from South Australia is fantastic. Chad Pearson, good enough to get out of a tackle. Drive to the wing in the England direction. He's got to beat his opponent, Knight, and does. Well done, England. The handball to Schoenfeld. He's got Kitchen inside, ignores him. Goes to Strom. Taken high, was he? Umpire said yes, but played on. Matty Parker has a bounce inside 50. Chips into the pocket. That's a lovely little kick. And Cody Ninette takes the mark in the forward pocket. Really tight angle. The Ninja plays on around the corner. Looks good. Gets another goal for WA.
What a classy finish. And then they get another goal right on the siren again, WA, to keep them in this contest. But I was really pleased with how WA went about there in their last minute of play. I mean, Stengel going inside forward 50 there had multiple options. He almost had that many he didn't know what to do. The WA boys pushed back in numbers really quickly, just got a hand to the footy when they needed to, scrapped it out of there. There was nothing pretty about the way they went forward after that bit of play, but they just persisted, got it forward, and then just a beautiful finish on goal there, as you mentioned. And yeah, we've got a three-goal game going into the second half, and we plenty to look forward to.
It's a 20-point lead to the South Australians at half-time. Don't go anywhere. We got all the action here at half-time. We'll look at the stats and come back for the second half straight after this. This is State Footy on SEN.
Want to win free coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just order a McCafe coffee on the...
And the great Doc Potter's out there at the moment, helping the South Australian boys. I've known Doc from years back in his days at the Crows, and he's a truly wonderful man. He'll look after him very, very well.
I'm sure he will. Now, Rossi, I want to talk to you a little bit about the goals from turnovers, just any little mistake that Western Australians have made, whether it's been a fumble or a missed handball or missing a target, it seemed that South Australia have pounced all over that opportunity, and probably the reason why they have a 20-point lead.
Yeah, I reckon you've analysed it really well there. The amount of turnovers that have been caused from South Australia's pressure around the footy, or the pressure around the man, is quite incredible, actually. To be honest, it is the reason that South Australia are in front. There's actually two reasons to it. The turnovers, when we talk about turnovers, we think that the player himself just shanked the kick or missed a handball. But there has been a fair bit of pressure put on from South Australia to cause a lot of that. In fact, WA have as well. I just think when the turnover has occurred, South Australia have used the ball far better on more occasions, and that's why they're sitting with this 20-point buffer that they have at the moment. But look, there was a lot about WA's ball movement and the way they were going about it. I was really impressed with in the first half. They need to get a couple more players more heavily into the game. Even the captain himself, Kitchen, I think,
yes,
they get a little bit more out of him through the middle of the game. I'd like to see West get into it a little bit more as well. What he does is really good, but just not probably getting enough of the footy in those types of hands regularly enough for them to be really powerful going forward.
Sam Fisher's another one that
Sam,
needs to
he's
touch
been
the
really
footy a bit
quiet.
more.
Yeah, he has. And you mentioned Mountford during the course of the game as well. A young man I know a reasonable amount about from his Kangaroos days. He's actually quite close friends with a couple of the boys at the Nord Footy Club through Brad McKenzie, who used to be the Kangaroos, and he knows a few boys there. And he's probably been a little bit disappointing from a WA perspective so far. But, I mean, from South Australia's perspective as well, there's been a couple of boys have been, a little bit quiet. We mentioned Nunny, obviously, but now we know why. But certainly Jack Hayes, haven't really called him a lot so far today. I don't think Michael Knoll would have been overly pleased with his first half in ruck. I think Galt's really got on top of him there. And maybe to a far lesser degree, Maxi Proud probably haven't really called him much today either, has he? He's sort of been led around a little bit. But it's a big second half. We'll see. Goes over 4 quarters, not 2. So we'll see what happens.
20-point lead to the South Australians. As the umpire's about to bounce the ball down. It's a good 1-2. Noel won that one out, but it went straight to Bolton. Fisher was in there. Got it back to West. And WA, scrubby little kick out to the wing in the Matt Parker direction. He's got some time. This way, that way. Then uses the support of his defender in Pegoro. Ends up in the hands of Kitchen. Pegararo got it back. Fisher, Bolton, driving kick down the line. Well spoiled by Curran. Going to ground is Allman, and he's holding the ball. That's not a bad decision either, I don't reckon. Jared Allman lost his feet.
Yeah, to be honest, it's a really brave decision and a good decision.
Yep.
You don't see it paid very often. He didn't make any attempt, Allman, to get rid of the footy. I mentioned the Western Australian umpire earlier, and I've really enjoyed the way he's umpired the game.
Callan-Inger's kick inside 50, and the umpire's seen something here. It is going to be a free kick to Chris Curran. He's about 20 metres out from goal.
I'll tell you what I've noticed, Bonds, and I keep mentioning the WA umpire, he's not afraid to make the decision in forward 50. So twice players have been held onto and things like that. He makes a decision, whereas I've seen a couple of other umpires in the past, they're not really brave enough to call that whistle when it's that inside 50 in dangerous spots.
Both of us aren't real fans of umpires, but they've done a fantastic job today.
Well, they are the state umpires for the day, so you're best of the best.
Down the line, Hayes.
And they're still just okay.
Was in front of the pack. Allman taken height. And he will get the free kick for a high shot.
WA umpire again, I don't reckon he's made one bad decision so far. So you make the next 3 will be awful.
All right, let's not wrap him up too much. Down the line goes to Michael Knoll. Can't take the mark. Connor West, good hands. Kick was smothered from Jack Hayes from Pegararo.
Once again, that's that pressure you spoke about just before, just after the half time in regards to turnover. An opportunity for WA to get the 40 forward there. Jack Hayes smothers the ball. Once again, turnover goes out, gives South Australia an opportunity to win a 50-50 contest again.
The ball thrown in, Nolan Galt. It was a dead heat. Edwards got to the footy first. He was tackled by Gibbs. The ball is just on the boundary line, but doesn't go out. So the umpire crosses himself. We'll have a ball up. Still at half forward for South Australia. Right on the boundary line, western side, commentary side. Handball came out from Partington straight to Schoenfeld. He was wrapped up in a tackle. And we'll have another stoppage. Bit of push and shove between players. Riley Knight, Lee Kitchen going at it. Noel and Galt again. And again, we've got another stoppage. Second quarter started like this. Now Kitchen and Michael Noel want to have a bit of push and shove.
Difference in size there.
Umpire comes in and throws it up. Noel won the tap, but West grabs it, and the umpire's paid a free kick here. He's seen something to Western Australia. It's called play on. Connor West runs away, chips down the line, cut off beautifully by Curran. Chris Curran short and sideways to Haynes. The switch is on, goes across the ground to Spina. Alex Spina from North Adelaide finds Maxi Proud at halfback. It's good running from Proud. He ran almost from the goal square to halfback to get that. Went sideways to Broadbent, and now Coombs still on the wing. Little chip back to Proud. They want to play on the South Australians. Gets it back in the 1-2. Has Curran running through the middle of Adelaide Oval. On the right boot inside 50. Noel was there, couldn't take the mark. Western Australia will mop up through Pagarero. Kitchen, the handball to Jai Bolton. In the middle of Adelaide Oval, the lovely handball over the top to West. He was under pressure. Delahunty to Kitchen. Top of the square. And a good mark there by Strom. Zach Strom. He's only about 10 metres out from goal, and this will be an excellent start to the second half for WA.
A couple of players you mentioned that need to get the footy a little bit more. West was one earlier. Kitchen getting quite involved early in this third quarter, and it's good to see. And once again, the big forward in Strom puts the big hands up. A beautiful kick though. Kicked it right to where he wanted it. Gave him the opportunity to jump, and he took it easily.
South Fremantle, big man. Oh, he's hit the post. Oh, that's a bad miss. That's a shocker.
Mate, that is an ashtray moment. You know what an ashtray moment is?
What's that?
Just stinker. Ashtray stink.
Just burn that bit of play and put it in the ashtray.
Burn it, get rid of it, put it in the ashtray. He needed to kick that goal for WA. Sorry to the WA listeners out there, but that was one that went missing that you really needed.
State game for Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival, Australia's first GUV. And it's a 19-point lead to the South Australians on the IMAR Insurance, the tradies' mate scoreboard. WA going to run into attack again, although Thorne just dropped the footy. He's under pressure now. And he copped one high, said the umpire. So he will get a free kick. Campbell Coombe is going a little bit high. Quickly goes to Marsh. Marsh to the pocket. Keitel was there, but thumped out of bounds by Max Proud.
I'm not sure that WA coaches would be all that keen with that kick inside 50 there. Went to the pocket. It's a bit of a dead pocket, really. There's not really much you gain out of that. Should have hit the top of the square. I know there was a few numbers there, but they were even numbers. And what WA need at the moment is to really powerfully hit the top of the square.
Ball thrown in, just hits the deck. Clark's there. He's tackled by Broadbent. Trying to bust through was West. Now Partington. Riley Knight just a little hack out of the danger zone. Schoenfeld first one there for WA. Knight's there as well. Coombe. Just a little 10 or 15 metre kick. Umpire called play on. McBean went with the outside of the boot. Knight, Stengel, Partington, all the big names for South Australia. Teaming up. Curran has to beat his man. Can't do it. Well done, England. Talon England was excellent there. Won the footy for WA. Here's Martinez running. Tried to go back to England. 4 South Australians close on him, but he's good enough to get around him. He's out of gas. The kick off the side of the boot was horrible. Kitchen, the skipper, goes to Bolton. Drives to the top of the square. It's a 2-on-1 here for WA. Keitel takes the mark.
Mate, give all the credit there to England. How that was terrific play by him. He's that exhausted. You said the ball went off the side of his boot. He ran straight off the field after kicking it. He was that exhausted. He chased, he tackled, he harassed, he got the footy, he got it back when he lost it, and then he got it forward when he needed to. I know that all sounds confusing. What it meant was he just did not give up, and that's why WA have this shot on goal.
Keitel's a good shot at goal and makes no mistake. Kicks his third. And a great goal to start the third term. WA back in this. They're 5-8. South Australia 7-9 on the IMAR Insurance, the tradies' mate scoreboard. We've gone almost 8 minutes in the third term.
And for our WA listeners, just so you make a really clear picture of what's going on here, is you're absolutely pretty much dominating this quarter so far in regards to possessions, the use of the footy and the aggression towards the ball itself. Not the opposition, the ball itself. You're hitting it with everything you've got. Your better ball winners are coming into play. We mentioned Kitchen, we mentioned West. We've already said that Galt's been terrific in ruck all day, and he continues to do that. Clark's been busy, and Marsh has been really busy this quarter as well, and he's beautiful by foot. So you're right in this contest, right here and now, and it's pleasing to see.
Delahunty into the ruck for WA. Noel won that tap down, put out in front of Gibbs. Gibbs was taken high.
Good hands.
And WA turned it over. Schoenfeld. Here's Clark on the wing, driving it inside 50. Keitel leads out, can't take the grab. At the fall of the ball is Thorne. Just dribbles it forward towards the goal. Probably should have done better than that. It goes out of bounds. And it'll be the last touch rule we're playing today. Broadbent takes the free kick, goes to Proud, switches the play to the commentary side. Allman goes short to Stengel. Still on the wing.
Using, yep.
Goes back to Allman. And the left boot is smothered. Good play by Pagararo. Noel was there. McBean back to Stengel, who kept running. And on the 50-metre line, Hosey takes the mark. Wants to play it quickly. Centres the ball beautifully to Wilkinson. And Eamon Wilkinson will go back and have a shot from about 35 metres out. About a 15-degree angle.
Needs to kick this, Wilkinson, just to settle South Australia down a little bit, and probably for his own confidence as well. He probably hasn't had the greatest of days so far. Had an opportunity to kick a goal in the first quarter, I think, from about the same distance and missed it. But geez, how'd you like Boz to be a player inside 50 and Hosey with the ball in hand? He's a beautiful kick, whether it's for goal or whether it's to hit up a teammate. And I mentioned him last week. We watched Glenelg versus Sturt here in South Australia, and how he's not on an AFL list still is probably a little bit beyond me when you consider how the Kangaroos have been going this year, to be honest. I know they won today. That's beside the point.
No, we're not talking about that. As Wilkinson comes in. That's a better kick from Eamon Wilkinson. The quick answering reply for the South Australians. They go to 8 goals, 9, WA 5-8 on the IMAR Insurance, the tradies' mate scoreboard.
And I can tell everyone out here too, the crowd's got a little bit bigger in the second half too. The noise was quite vocal then for the South Australian boys that kicked that goal. But look, once again, we talk about South Australia's ball movement when they've gone inside the forward 50 zone in the first half, and that was why they were leading by 20 points. And right there again is why. They did exactly the same as they had been doing previously, which was good, crisp, clean movement. Hosey got on to the end of it, and his pass to Wilkinson inside forward 50 was absolutely precise. And good kick from Wilkinson, 35-40 out. I know it was a slight angle, but bit of pressure on him, and he slotted it through. So we've got a really good game of footy on our hands at the moment. I mean, both teams should be really proud about the way they're playing. Great
footy to watch here at Adelaide Oval. Hope you're enjoying it on SEN SA and SEN WA. Comes out the back to Edwards. He was wrapped up in a tackle by Coombe. They've turned it over, the Western Australians again. Comes out to Stengel on the leads. McBean. They just can't afford to make a mistake. WA, the South Australians just pounce.
They do, yeah, and that's, you've mentioned it a few times today, and that happened again there. Just a slight fumble, but it was a great tackle by Coombe. Terrific tackle, which had the ball fall out and eventually, and then Stengel's kick to McBean was, geez, you would have thought they'd been playing together for 20 years, the way he kicked that. They've known each other for about 3 training sessions.
Nothing Schlensog could do there. McBean will kick from probably just inside 50, or right on 50.
I'd normally back him from here, but I've got a little feeling he might miss. Let's see how we go.
Kick from just outside 50. It's right there, not a problem. McBean gets his first, and South Australia have their 9th. They are 9-9. Western Australia 5-8 on the IMAR Insurance, the tradies' mate scoreboard. Call 13-IMAR.
So just for our listeners, I'm so good at putting the nozzles on blokes. I would normally, and you'll be able to testify this.
Absolutely.
Every time McBean's got it in his hands inside 50, you normally call goal. And I was going to say he'll kick this, and then I thought, no, I'll go the opposite. And of course he kicked it. But no, he's a beautiful kick for goal. Liam McBean has a tremendous lead. Great kick from Stengel to get it onto his chest. And since WA got those first 2 goals, South Australia quickly responded with the 2 of their own.
12.5 minutes gone, third term. Ball in the middle. Jai Bolton just kicked it straight up in the air. Delahunty took that kick, just hacked it forward, but straight to Broadbent. He's been excellent at half back, Matty Broadbent. Wilkinson at half forward. for South Australia.
Ooh.
Martinez just handballed to himself, came out the back to McBean. Little chip kick in the Stengel direction. Couldn't take the mark. Reynolds came out. In fact, it was Hosey. He goes around the corner. Well defended by the WA player, Schlenschlog. And the umpire's found a free kick. It's going the way of Jai Bolton. Jack Hayes just got a little bit high in the tackle. So Jai Bolton to the back pocket. West. Oh, his kick was horrible. Went straight to Goldsworthy.
Ashtray.
Goldsworthy inside. Reynolds grabs it, kicks the goal from the goal square. That's sloppy play from WA, but very good from South Australia. They've kicked their 10th, and now it's a real handy margin.
So I got to use the ashtray twice now, and ashtray means it generally stink.
Dirty.
They're dirty
It's
and they
dirty.
stink, and that was a dirty, stinky kick. And I pumped up Westy because he's been tremendous all day, but he just kicked it into the man on the mark. Simple turnover. SA have the numbers there. Ball ends up with Reynolds in his hands, and he does not miss around that distance. He's only about 15 metres out on his left. But taking control again, South Australia after WA, after I pumped them up. Kiss of death today, aren't I? As soon as I pump you up, you go the other way. But
Margin out to 31 points
yeah,
now.
that's a game high, 31 points too so far. So big 5 to 7 minutes in store here for WA. They've really got to respond and respond fast.
There's the bounce. And Galt won it down, but straight to Riley Knight. They go into attack again, the South Australians. Chad Pearson leads to the ball. He's got support, and just around the corner, Riley Knight dropped the kick. The kick came from Rogers. And they'll go forward, WA. Oh, Chris Curran almost took a one-hander. Schoenfeld's got Delahunty over the top, and he's got Marsh inside. Didn't see him, went to Keitel in the pocket, and he had players inside. He really should have used them, and he's missed to the left. Tyler Keitel.
We mentioned it a few times today. He's a beautiful kick for goal, but he really needed to look inboard. Then he had 2-on-1, and he went for glory.
He did.
It's going to hurt him too.
Goldsworthy on the wing. Finds Wilkinson down the line in front of Martinez. So Eamon Wilkinson just taking his time here.
It's coming into the game.
Getting a bit of camera time. Into the pocket. And Hosey's there, and so is Schlensog, and he sees it over the line. This is state footy, SA versus WA, thanks to Kia introducing the all-new Kia Carnival GUV with SUV-inspired design and spacious seating for all 8 passengers. Paul Bonsor and Mark Ross here. There's the throw-in. McBean in front, tapped it down, straight to Marsh. But again, the handball was intercepted. Riley Knight, short dribbly kick inside, forward 50. Well done by Pearson. West has the footy for WA, tries a handball to his ruckman. Did well, Galt. And kicked it to centre half forward, but it's all South Australia, and Alex Spina takes the mark inside the centre square. Kicks to the leading. Hosey takes the mark on the chest. What about that kick, Mark Ross?
That was a beautiful leg. Just spinner, another one. I mean, the whole South Australian lineup, though, if you go through them, you can see what Jay Cheaty's done here when he's been selecting, or him and his selectors when selecting the team. They've gone with boys that use the ball really well. They're tough footballers as well, but they can actually use the footy. Because most state games, let's be honest, they're played as a spectacle on the outside rather than the inside contest. And all these South Australian boys certainly can kick it.
So Hosey, right boot, looks pretty good, and puts it through for the 11th goal for South Australia. They go to 11-9, WA 5-9 on the IMAR Insurance, the tradies mate scoreboard.
You might have heard me grimace just before that goal was kicked in regards to young Connor West, who I've, as I said, been really impressed with today. What disappointed me there is the hardest handball you can do is when you're trying to run backwards.
Yep.
And he's trying to run backwards to get out of a tackle, or pressure, I should say. It wasn't actually a tackle, but pressure. And he's tried to handball whilst running backwards to a ruckman.
It's hard enough to handball to a ruckman running
anyway.
forward,
So,
let alone running backwards.
So he's just had a couple of brain fades this quarter, and it's actually cost him 2 goals, which is really disappointing from WA's in his perspective. But look, I like what I've seen him in all day today, and I don't want to pick at him, so I'm sure he'll come back and fight and do something pretty spectacular in the next quarter and a half.
Noel to Partington to Gibbs.
That was a bit easy.
Out of the middle, that was too easy. Hits Riley Knight leading. Swings around onto the right boot. Inside 50 is Hosey again. Couldn't take the mark. Schlensog did well. And now later tackle. It's holding the footy surely up. No, he'll come in and cross himself. Very lucky. Well, unlucky not to get a free kick there, Schlensog.
If the WA umpire was there, that would have been holding the ball because he wouldn't have been afraid to pay it.
Ball up. Partington trying to get his hands on the footy. Big ruckman Galt did. Martinez.
It's been okay.
I liked his game too. Kicks out to Delahunty on the wing. But again, South Australian have the numbers. Cam Sutcliffe. He was tackled well by Kitchen. And again, Kitchen probably a little bit unlucky. I thought the ball came out in that tackle. Pretty much in the middle of the ground on the far side.
That's too high.
As Bolton got a high tackle from Sutcliffe, and Jai Bolton will get the free kick on the wing for WA.
He'd come and play in my team whenever he wants, Jai. He's a very good footballer.
Reminds me a little bit of Mitch Grigg, the way he plays.
Yeah, he does a little bit. He does. He's probably got a little... Mitch is going to kill him. He's probably got a little bit more pace than Mitch.
I definitely... It might have. Nothing against...
More running capacity than Mitch. But Mitch might have a slightly better leg.
And Tyson Stengel might kick another goal, and he does! Oh, that's far too easy from the South Australians. They're running away with this now. And Stengel gets his second. In fact, he gets his third. One in each quarter. They go to 12 goals, 9. WA 5-9 on the IMAR Insurance, the Tradies Mate scoreboard.
And seriously, Bonds, feels like 3 or 4 minutes ago we said WA are back in this contest and then we've got a game on our hands after they started the quarter so well. But all it really seemed to have done is spark the SA boys up. From the moment they got within a kick and two and a big kicks, the SA boys have dominated possessions, they've dominated clearances, they've dominated the tackling pressure, and even then there was nothing special about what they did going inside 50 there. They just rushed forward. And what happens when you're starting to get a roll of confidence like the South Australian boys are getting at the moment is you run in numbers, and they were just outnumbered there, WA.
So WA kicked the first one of the quarter, and SA have kicked the next 5. Jai Bolton gets another clearance, but Luke Thompson will lead in the race in front of Keitel. Still battling away to keep it in the area is Keitel.
They could have left the We Are Port Adelaide signs off for another 45 minutes, couldn't they?
Yeah, I think that's... Anyway,
I'll get myself into trouble.
Back to the footy. Partington cleared the ball out of defence, landed on the chest of Jack Hayes, South Australian skipper.
It's been pretty quiet today, but what he has done has been very good.
One of the best contested marks in South Australia is Jack Hayes. As you said, yeah, a little bit quiet. Sutcliffe, short to Partington.
He's come into the game a lot, and since about halfway through the second quarter, Luke, it's been excellent.
He just never stops running, Luke Partington. Down towards the 50-metre line. Schlensog.
Excellent. Good boy.
Was very good. Out in the path of Fisher. Sam Fisher is going to use England, although his kick's high and put Matt Parker under pressure. Luckily, Parker got the free kick.
Comes up really high to get his kick, doesn't he, Parker? I'd like to see him a little bit deeper at times, but they know better.
Plays on. Goes long inside 50. Keitel was there, but again, South Australia had the numbers. In fact, the umpire's called a throw. Said that Sampson threw the ball, so Keitel is going to have a shot for goal. He's going to kick from roughly about 47 metres on about a 48-degree angle.
This might be going over 4. He's played really well today as a big key forward, Keitel. He's certainly give the SA boy back 7 or 8 of them, something to think about when the ball's coming quickly. He's got a beautiful leg. He's good size, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very
got
good.
Size and strength about him. And
yeah, like the looks of him. Had a good look at him during the week. And yeah, looks good. That's a nice looking kick, although it's just slid off the boot a little bit and missed to the right. So through for a minor score. WA go to 5 goals 10. South Australia 12 goals 9. This is SA versus WA on SEN SA and SEN WA, thanks to Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival, Australia's first GUV. Zach Strom takes the mark at half forward, centres the ball. like that to Clark. Clark out in front of Delahunty. In fact, I don't think it's Delahunty. I think it's the big ruckman Galt. It is.
Bit of a mismatch there. He's on young Samson. That's David and Goliath, that's for sure.
So Galt outside of his range, so just pops it up in the Keitel direction. And the umpire's seen something here. It's a free kick going to South Australia. Going the way of Max Proud.
Very solid in defence all day, Proudy, hasn't he?
Doesn't get many stats, but just hardly makes a mistake. That's Proud.
After saying that, I think he's been on Keitel for most of the day. So, kick three goals, you've probably done your job as a key forward.
So McBean got it to Sutcliffe, who played on quickly, put it out in front of Noel. Noel took a two-grabber at half forward. He's got the run of Goldsworthy. Little chip kick. Went to Wilkinson. Out wide, Stengel by himself. And it was interfered with. Umpire called play on. Well, not sure about that. These are the crowd. The crowd getting into it. Connor West at half back for WA.
That was definitely a free kick, and we'll leave it at that.
Here's Bailey Rogers. His kick is horrible. Another ashtray moment. Goes out of bounds.
Jeez, we're getting the ashtray in today, aren't we?
I think that's probably enough, isn't it?
I've said it once, and it's come about 3 or 4 times now. A dirty ashtray.
Chris Curran kicks towards half forward. In front, Liam McBean. He'll swing around. Still about 70 from the South Australians' goal. Just got under that kick a little bit. So running onto it was Ninnetti. In fact, it was Kitchen. No, it was Ninnette. I should have
back yourself in.
Backed myself the first time. Schoenfeld just got the ball out, but the South Australian have the numbers again. As Noel thumps it inside 50. Reynolds flew, almost took the mark. Waiting down was Rogers. WA working hard again. They're under pressure. 3-1 there. And they're going to win out. Martinez tried to go off the ground. Kitchen. Here's Delahunty. Schoenfeld. Short. Well, they didn't even know that was coming. Bolton dodged around a player. He had West, but he went to Delahunty. Outside, and the kick's turned over. Fisher put it straight on the chest of Spina.
It's been a bit disappointing today, Sam, hasn't he? He hasn't had his best day at this level. A much better player than we've probably got to see live today here at Adelaide Oval.
So Curran had it in the back pocket, went to Sam Rowland. Just inside the boundary line, and across the 50. We've gone almost 26 minutes in the third term. South Australia with a commanding lead. Schoenfeld took a good two-grab mark in the front of the pack, right in front of our commentary position. SENS SA and SENWA. Hope you're enjoying the call. Paul Bonsor and Mark Ross, as that kick again goes down the throat of a South Australian defender. And that's Luke Thompson.
Ooh,
that kick wasn't very good. Joe Haynes has to work hard. He's under pressure. Well tackled by Parker. Still can't get the ball out. Parker stole it from him. Out to Delahunty. Swings around. Puts it to the top of the square. The big ruckman Galt's there. Going back was Keitel. And taking it over the line is Broadbent. Plays on quickly. The restart down the middle of the ground. Finds Gibbs. Bryce Gibbs goes wide. Sam Rowland's out there. Still at half back for South Australia. Just going to slow it up. That's good because I was running out of breath. 27 minutes gone, third term, down the line. McBean somehow got to the front and took the mark. He's got Gibbs in the middle of the Adelaide Oval. On the right, boot inside 50. Stengel, look at that kick. Absolute elite. Stengel plays on. Hosey on the lead. Can't take the mark. Again, they've got the numbers, South Australia. Stengel, this way, that way. Good tackle from Pecoraro, and it's holding the ball. Edwards has a bounce. Goes to his skipper, Kitchen. Now Schoenfeld tried to handball to the back of Edwards. Just wasn't looking Edwards. Had no idea what was going on. And we'll have a stoppage. Will we know holding the ball? So I don't know who's on the bottom of that pack. So I'm not sure how that happened. Marsh had the footy at the bottom of the pack. The umpire played holding the ball. He got up and kicked it. He went to Fisher. Now the big ruckman Galt inside 50. Keitel's 2-on-1. And floating across, Michael Knoll just thumped it out of bounds. We'll have a throw in the forward pocket for WA.
I mentioned Michael at half-time and said I thought he'd been a bit quiet. And Galt might have got the better of him, but he had a terrific quarter, Michael, and probably helped set that the 7-goal lead that they've got up from the moment that quarter started.
Three-quarter time. It's a long way back for WA now. And South Australia 12-9-81 lead at WA 5-11-41 here on SEN-SA and SEN-WA. We'll have a short break and be back for the last quarter straight after this.
The Messenger podcast on the SEN app or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Red Energy, 100% Australian electricity and gas.
Real adventures with Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Everything fishing, boating and outdoors.
There's a few great white sharks that have been essentially followed by New South Wales SharkSmart, and there's some great online diagrams and videos that you can actually watch of these great whites and the patterns that they swim. And it travels from northern Queensland down to Victoria, over to New Zealand. It's quite extraordinary how far they swim.
Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Subscribe and listen today wherever you get your podcasts.
Lining up for the Drinkwise Stakes. It's a wide open field. Fallen over in the urinal is coming into the gates. Passed out before the quaddie is a late scratching. Wakes up with a kebab in hand and red wine splashed on the shirt make up the rest of the field. But the market mover and clear favourite with the fans, Have a Water Between Drinks. She looks like a winner today. The fans are embracing this horse from the Drinkwise stable.
Be a winner at the races. Remember, you won't miss a moment at the races if you drink wise.
Want to win free coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just order a McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app for your chance to win. There are 25 winners every day. But hurry, limited time only. Ends 23/03/21. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecomp for full terms.
You're listening to the 2021 WAFL Premiership season for Kia. Introducing the all-new Kia Carnival GUV with an SUV-inspired design and spacious seating for all 8 passengers.
And Tyson Stengel might kick another goal, and he does! Oh, that's far too easy from the South Australians. They're running away with this now. Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. Three-quarter time, 40-point margin to the South Australians. And we're glad to bring you the state game for Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival, Australia's first GUV with an SUV-inspired design and spacious seating for all 8 passengers. Paul Bonsor and Mark Ross here. Mark, let's have a look at the stats at three-quarter time.
Yeah, for WA, first of all, Bolton, we'll go through them quickly because they're moving into positions. Jai Bolton's had 25, Delahunty 20. I'm really impressed with Delahunty today as well, mate. He's been really competitive in everything he's done. Erdely's had 18, Clark 17, West 17, Martinez is 16, as is Rogers had 16 as well. Whilst for South Australia, Bryce Gibbs, who I think at this stage probably best on ground, he's been pretty consistent for the whole 4 quarters. He's had 26 disposals. Matty Broadbent, who's been outstanding across halfbacks, had 24. Riley Knight 22, Goldsworthy 18, and Partington. And Stengel's one we wouldn't want to miss. He's kicked 3-3 and had 17 disposals. He's been tremendous today.
Certainly has. And for CNF lawyers, just the one injury we know of, Matt Nunn for South Australia.
Yeah, suspected hamstring or quad. It's a bit hard to tell at the moment.
Upper leg injury, let's call it that. There's the bounce. Galt in the middle of the ground, tried to get the handball back to Kitchen, but it's stolen by South Australia. Again, they turn it over. Stengel turned on a dime, swung onto his right boot, heads for home. Tyson Stengel just offline. Wilkinson was there and he's going to get a free kick.
It's a goal anyway.
It is a goal. Reynolds kicked the goal. So within the first 20 seconds of play in the final term, South Australia have another goal. They go to 13-9 to 5-11 on the IMAR Insurance, the tradies mate scoreboard.
So Stengel, beautiful kick inside forward 50. Stengel looked like he was going to mark it. He was actually being hurled. His right arm was just being hurled. Ball came to ground. The umpire was about to pay the decision. Reynolds socketed it through at the same time, so they paid the goal. Fat lady singing, mate. She's all over. You can't come back from here. And if they do, I'm going to jump out this window.
46-point margin. Come on, WA.
That's what my wife would be saying at home right now. I hope it's really high. No, she's all over. They're just dominating the moment. And with 46-point leaders and playing by far the better footy at the minute.
Another goal from turnovers. And the umpire will come in. We'll have the second stoppage right in the middle of Adelaide Oval as the lights start to take effect here now. And the crowds start to come in for the second game. Clark has it for WA. Tried to find Kitchen. Kitchen went to ground. Broadbent didn't. Held his feet. Got it to Stengel. Just getting better as the game goes on. Partington back to Spina. Dodges around a player and finds Broadbent, who's got Stengel. Inside, he's got Haynes. Just waits for him and then handballed over his head. That wasn't great footy, but Haynes did well. Got it. Little chip kick sideways to Goldsworthy. Can he keep it in? Just. Uses a handball to Sutcliffe. Back to Goldsworthy on the left boot, smothered. Again, South Australia still have possession. McBean to Sutcliffe, back to Haynes. Outside 50, lobs it to the top of the goal square. It's 2-on-2 here. Paragaro did well, so did Schoenfeld. WA going to run it out. Chad Pearson. Back in the pocket to Rogers. His kick was high and it's a horrible kick. Underneath it, Partington takes the chest mark. It was swirling around in the breeze. Partington read it best. And pretty much an uncontested mark. He's about 35 metres out from goal. 9-degree angle.
Looked really easy, didn't it? But that was a tough mark for Partington. That ball went straight up in the air, you know, travelled its fair distance that it needed to. But Partington was just standing there with all these men coming towards him, and he just stood his ground and he'll kick the goal.
That one's gone through the middle. I thought it had gone to the right, but he does get the goal, Luke Partington. And South Australia go on their merry way. They are 13-9, 14-9 now. WA 5-11 on the IMAR Insurance, the Tradies Mate scoreboard.
We all know Luke Partington for his ability to run up and down the ground all day and how hard he does work, but what a lot of people don't actually recognise is the courage the young man has as well. Stands under the footy a lot, crashes in. I think, Bonds, you and I have called, you know, the Bays games 2 or 3 times in the last few weeks, and we've actually said at the start of the last quarter when the game's been on the line, he's the one that has actually said to his teammates, follow me boys, we're going to win this game of footy, and led the way pretty much. So he's a terrific young player, and I wouldn't mind actually betting over here at the moment. If you're doing a Magarey medal count right now, I reckon he might be leading.
Okay. Be in line for that Foss Williams medal as well today, the best player on the ground for South Australia. Simpson medal to be awarded as well.
You can get off this bloke.
Tyson Stengel put the ball at half forward, put it in the direction of Reynolds, but Paragaro beat Reynolds. Kicked out to the wing. Parker couldn't take the half volley. Broadbent could. All inside. Reynolds took a mark, and flying over the back of him was Eardley. Bit clumsy, bit dangerous. Reynolds just got up, kicked it to the hot spot on McBean's chest. That's just too easy from South Australia. And McBean will kick from straight in front, about 35 metres out.
Yeah, I reckon, I mentioned earlier the fat lady might have, well, I said the fat lady has sung, and I reckon Western Australia might be singing it with her at the moment. There was really no pressure there at all. Reynolds just swung onto his left as simple as anything. There was space right down the middle of the ground. McBean's just led into it and taken the simplest of chest marks. So a bit disappointing, really, the way this game's fizzling out in this last quarter. From a South Australian perspective, you'd be really pleased with the way the boys are playing. For those viewers back home for WA, you'd be pretty disappointed, I think.
Liam McBean from 49 metres, gives a fist pump, puts it through. That's his second for the day. And the third one in this last quarter for South Australia. They're running away with this, as you said, Mark Ross. They are now 15 goals, 9. WA 5-11 on the IMAR Insurance, the Tradies Mate scoreboard.
Don't you get that the feeling with the Glenelg boys, Hosey, Reynolds and McBean, when any one of them has the ball in their hands, the other two just lick their lips, don't they? Going inside 50, they just seem to know so well where they're going and what they're doing, and it's actually really good to watch. The bloke I've been really, there's 2 blokes we haven't mentioned enough for how outstanding they've been today. One's Broadbent across halfback for the Croatians, and the other one is Stengel up forward. Stengel is doing his AFL chances no harm at all.
Bryce Gibbs got the clearance, heads down to half forward. Stengel in a battle with Mountford, and the umpire's paid holding the ball. So a little bit slow to get rid of it there was Hosey. Chad Pearson at half back for WA. He wants to switch it and goes backwards. Bailey Rogers might just come back up the middle now. Oh, that's a dangerous kick. Partington and Allman. It's all South Australia. Haynes trying to get the handball back to Spina, but they've turned it over. England liked his game. Short little kick looking for Schoenfeld. Had to take the mark and did. He's got numbers now. Out wide, Matty Parker.
Just got to walk it in.
He's got plenty of room. He's all by himself. He has one bounce. He runs about 85 metres and dribbles a goal. Jeez, he ran a long way there, Matty Parker, but got the result.
Any chance he wanted to handball it to one of his two teammates in the goal square? He certainly wanted to get on the scoreboard, but that's a much-needed goal to WA. Takes them to 6-11-47 to the South Australian boys, 15-9-99. Fair to say it was a much-needed goal.
Jeez, he ran a long way there. I reckon he ran about 30 metres. He had one bounce from outside 50 and then just kept running and ignored his teammates, as you said, ran through and put through another goal for WA on the IMAR Insurance, the tradies mate scoreboard.
Just watching the replay, I reckon there's a couple of the Portuguese squad behind the goals that might have let him know too that he was a little bit selfish with that, because he's given them the dirtiest of looks, and I'm thinking I wouldn't be saying anything to him. He looked like he might jump the fence.
He's had a hard day.
He has had a hard day.
Wanted a little bit of glory.
What I have noticed about him, he leads up really, really strong, and his opponents just drop off every time. So he's actually won a few possessions when WA have won the clearance out of the centre square, especially on the far wing or on this wing. But it's been broad bent, and these types have just dropped back into the hole and winning possession when the ball comes in.
It's a state game for Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival, Australia's first GUV, as Bolton got the handball sideways to Marsh. Inside 50, went over Keitel's head, but he got it on the rebound, snapped it, goal, offline and out on the full. He was under pressure when he's kicked it. And he's been the main man up forward, has 3 goals, Tyler Keitel.
Actually, haven't minded his game. I think he's presented really well all day. I think he missed 2 and kicked 1 out on the full, that one there. So he's had, 5 shots on goal for a key forward in a day when you've only kicked 6 is not a bad effort.
Not bad from the Falcon. Falcons player, I should say. Comes back to Rogers. He goes on the left boot inside 50. It's all South Australia there, but staying down was near net. Here is Keitel. Thorne picked it up, kicked the goal! Little consolation prize from Tyrone Thorne.
Geez, he's dangerous around goals, isn't he? We see that in the first half. He just gets it onto that left. He makes it look so easy. He doesn't panic. He realises... I was about to say he realises he's got time and space, but even when he doesn't have time and space, he still just manages to steady himself enough. And once again, a really good tackle by South Australia. They just didn't have the numbers there to collect the footy once Keitel was tackled, and that's 2 in a row for WA. So hopefully, they can get another couple and at least make South Australia work this game out to the very end.
So back in the middle. So on the IMAR Insurance, the tradies mate scoreboard called 1-3 IMAR. 15-9 to 7-11, South Australia leading. We've gone 9.5 minutes in the final term. Delahunty took it out the ruck and kicked it forward. Sam Fisher at half forward, so is England. But again, the turnover comes. Goldsworthy has it. Running on his outside is Allman. Jared Allman, the left boot inside. McBean's there. So is Schenschlag. Falls to Wilkinson. This way, that way. Goes sideways. Bryce Gibbs marks it at 50. This will be right on his range. He'd have to kick from outside 50. Take his very best. So he goes short into the pocket. On the chest of Reynolds. Although, did he mark it? Umpire said yes, he did. Western Australian players thought it might have been a bit of a half volley. But Luke Reynolds has it in the Eddie Betts pocket in front of that beautiful scoreboard here at the Adelaide Oval. This is SA versus WA. Paul Bonsor and Mark Ross here for Kia, introducing the all-new Kia Carnival, Australia's first GUV. Reynolds.
Good kick this.
Walks over 50. Left boot. Umpire did not move. He definitely did kick it, Mark Ross. They go to 16-9. Western Australia 7-11 on the IMAR, the Insurance, the tradies mate scoreboard.
Party time for people like Luke Reynolds and Hosey and McBean and Stengel and that when the ball comes inside 50. But just the reason I said he's would kick that, he's in the right forward pocket to the northern end of the ground, but it's on his left side. He's a left footer. The old Eddie Betts pocket, we've got to call it now, mate. Not the Eddie Betts pocket.
Yes,
pocket,
no, it's a scoreboard pocket now.
And, looking at the umpire, he hardly moved. So, beautiful kick from that pocket. And he's had a pretty good day, Reynolds.
He's kicked 3?
Yeah, he's kicked 3. But they've had plenty of opportunities too. As we said, 25 shots on goal to 18. And there's been plenty of ball going inside forward 50 for South Australia.
Back in the middle, there's the bounce. McBean into the ruck for South Australia, and they're going to win the clearance again. Coombe at half forward, thought he dropped the footy, should have been holding the ball. Mopping up for WA as Strom comes out to Martinez. And over the top, taking the mark is Luke Thompson. Over the top of West. He goes sideways. This is a dangerous kick. Oh, Riley Knight, how'd you mark that?
Oh, good play.
And then the quick handball to Gibbs, to leading Goldsworthy. Couldn't take it in the hands. WA going to try and clear this out. Comes to Callan England. Did well. Pearson got it to Bolton. Bolton now to Edwards. Little kick forward. Kitchen just threw it to Jai Bolton. Goes to the goal square. Keitel in the box seat and will get the free kick. He almost marked it anyway. In best position, Max Proud coming back. All he could do was give away the free kick. And Keitel will line up for his fourth.
Good footy.
Was
Good
good footy.
movement. Used the ball. Brilliant kick inside 50. Just where your key forward wanted it. And mentioned Keitel a couple of times today. That's goal number... just making sure he kicks it first. Goal number 4. And he's had a pretty good day, as I said, for a team that's kicked 8 goals, and he's managed 4 of them. That's a pretty good effort.
Yeah, from West Perth.
Good old red and blue. Nothing
Good old
wrong with
red and
red
blue.
The old red and blue.
The
Melbourne,
Falcon-
Norwood,
The Falcons.
West Perth.
That's my my WA team, West Perth.
West Perth.
I follow them a little bit.
Yeah, I've always been a bit of a, well, because I'm a Norwood supporter, I've always followed the red and blue teams in opposite states, especially when also when I was younger, and I used to keep an eye on West Perth. The great John Wynn, big 2'8" from Norwood, came from West Perth, and know a fair bit about them and their history and the way they've gone about it. The Falcons, a very, very good football club, and probably haven't had the success in recent years that they had back in the old days. But
Delahunty and McBean doing the ruck work. McBean won that in the Sutcliffe direction. Umpires found a free kick. It's going the way of WA, and their skipper Lee Kitchen.
got better as the game went on, Lee.
Yeah, definitely. He goes short. Thorne still inside the centre square of Adelaide Oval. Chips out in front of Fisher. Sam Fisher, left boot inside and cut off. Max Proud read it best for South Australia. Proud, it's got Sutcliffe. And again, the foot skills of the South Australians has been pretty to watch today. And he hits up Wilkinson. Wilkinson still at half-back. The switch is on.
Risky. Good.
The kick hit Broadbent. Parker came late, but did well. To Rowland, Sam Rowland, out wide. In front of our commentary position is Jared Allman. His kick's horrible. Turned it over to Edwards. Delahunty in the middle of the ground. He's got Connor West. Connor West wide. The short kick from Pearson. It's his skipper. Kitchen got it back in the 1-2, the 3-4. Drive towards goal. Parker's there at the back. One bounce, dribbled over the back, and Matty Parker kicked the goal. Another one for WA. And his second, they'll go to 9-11. South Australia 16-9 on the IMAR Insurance, the Tradies Mate scoreboard.
Bit of sting's gone out of the game, and since it has, WA have started to control the footy a lot better around the ground, and they've gone deeper inside 50. So the times when they've been mopped up is when they've sort of kicked it to 25 to 30 out from goal. On this occasion, they've gone deep into about 10, 15 out. I did mention at the start of the quarter I wouldn't mind seeing Parker Moore play
Close
deep.
to the goal, yeah.
They've done exactly that there, and he's actually playing out of the goal square right now, and yeah, kicked a dribbling goal, being in the right spot at the right time, but it was really the work done up the ground by their midfield. Running in numbers, used the ball far better on that occasion, and Parker was just on the end of it.
15.5 minutes gone in the final term here at Adelaide Oval. South Australia versus Western Australia on SENSA and SENWA.
Good hands.
Thorne's gone into the middle, got it to Galt, put it inside 50. The bounce favoured the Western Australians. England just couldn't quite pick it up. He got it back in the handball from Keitel, snapped around the corner. It's going across the face and out on the full.
Sorry, mate. He hasn't had a lot of possessions today, England, but what he's done has been really impressive. Probably just needed to hit the top of the square then rather than actually going for goal. But you can't really blame him when you're 7 goals down. You need everything to work, don't you?
Yeah, he just looks a footballer, doesn't he? Looks like he's got time and poise. As Curran has it in the back pocket, he got it from Spina. His little balanced kick into the Riley Knight direction, who took a nice 2-grab mark in front of Kitchen.
One player I haven't really liked for WA today, we haven't called him a lot in this last quarter, but Greg Clark from Subiaco, big 193 centimetre, 94 kilo lad. He's got plenty of footy today. When I say plenty, not the... Oh, hang on, I'll leave it with you.
In the meantime, Partington kicked it long. Hosey used his body, ran into an open goal and put another one on the board for the South Australians.
It's getting a little bit too easy for both teams at the moment just to use their foot skills and their running capacity. It's just who wants to run harder in the last 10 or 15 minutes of this game at the moment. It's getting on the end of it, and that's what happened there. Partington used... One thing we've mentioned a number of times is Partington's ability to use his run and carry, and he'll do that for the whole 4 quarters. He never slackens off, and neither does Hosey or Reynolds or some of his teammates there, and he just put it in front of Hosey. When I say in front, Hosey was running towards the goal square, and he just put it in front of him. He ran onto and kicked an easy goal. But just going back to, young Clark from Subiaco as well that I was saying, I know he averages around 28 disposals a game back in the Perth competition, and you can see why. What I've liked about his game today in particular for your WA listeners is the way he uses the ball. He's used it really, really well all day. They haven't had many match winners today, but certainly he, along with Bolton and a couple of others, Schlensong Asog in defence in particular, have been really impressive.
Kitchen at the bottom of the pack. Thorne. 1 grab was nice.
He's been good since he's gone on ball.
Yeah, got it to Edwards. Now running and kicking towards half forward was Mountford. Parker was there. But again, South Australia will work it out through Proud to Knoll. The big ruckman had a little bit of a fumble which allowed the Western Australians in. We've got a stack of players here on the wing, commentary side. The umpire crosses himself. We'll have another stoppage here.
Just what Noldy wants at the 18-minute mark of the last quarter, someone to kick at his feet. The big ruckman has to bend down.
At any time for a ruckman, that's not good. Kitchen was tackled when he didn't have the footy. Umpire saw it. Michael Knoll giving away the free kick.
There's been a lot of free kicks to pay today, hasn't there, for both teams? I'm not... I'm just going to check it right now and see what the actual match stats for free kicks were. Should have known the WA that double. Should have known.
The ball's going to come out of the WA forward line, courtesy of Sampson. Riley Knight dropped a mark on the wing. Sampson kept running and got it back. Just goes short, out in front of McBean, but Sutcliffe is there as well. So in the end, McBean just probably held up, and so Sutcliffe could take an easy chest mark. And Cam Sutcliffe, former Freo, former Port Adelaide, still at Port Adelaide if you're in the SANFL, has gone short and found Jack Hayes.
We're always smart at the end of the game to just kick a short one to your captain. Your shout tonight, captain.
Yeah, remember that kick I gave you late in the game?
Yeah.
So Jack Hayes got one in the first quarter, lining up for his second, and South Australia's 18th. And not a problem for Jack Hayes. So he gets his second goal, and South Australia dominating now. They go to 18-9, 117, leading Western Australia 9-11-65 on the IMAR Insurance, the tradies mate scoreboard.
So what the listeners out there wouldn't have seen then was it was actually a terrific lead from McBean coming out through centre forward there again, and Sutcliffe just ran hard from the midfield, just dropped into the hole, and McBean, you're right, just pulled up enough for Sutcliffe to take the mark. Sutcliffe turned around and said, thank you very much. Appreciate that, mate. I probably got in your way, but it's a beautiful kick for goal. His Cam, as we mentioned earlier in the game today, came over as more as a defender. Came back from Fremantle as a defender, but he's certainly been a prominent player as a midfielder come forward here in the SANFL and leads the Port Magpies very, very well.
Yeah, captain of the Port Magpies here in the SANFL competition.
Great tap by Nolly, but it was read better by WA.
It certainly was. Harry Marsh put it inside forward 50. Almost a good mark by Spina. Edwards dodged around one, dodged around two on the left boot. Oh, that's a nice goal from Edwards. Bit of class there from Ben Edwards.
came out of nothing, really, didn't it? Just once again, that quick clearance out of the centre square. WA get it inside 50. The SA boy there, I couldn't pick up who was going back with the flight. It might have been Spinner.
It was Spinner, yeah.
And Spinner he went back with courage, almost took the mark. The ball fell to ground, though, unfortunately for him. And his opponent, Edwards, picked it up and snapped a goal. It was a classy goal, really good finish. He's probably burnt the footy a little bit today, Edwards, in the times he has had it. But that there was a really classy finish.
We've been enjoying the state game, South Australia versus WA on SEN S8, SEN WA, Paul Bonsor and Mark Ross. Proud to be bringing you the action from Adelaide Oval. Michael Knoll, nice little tap behind, but to no one. Harry Marsh got it to goal. WA are running, comes out to Clark. He's got one outside, but ignores that and goes over the top of his captain. Gibbs couldn't take the mark and fumbled it out of bounds, so we'll have a throw in on the western side of the ground, commentary side.
It's a kiss of death again, mate. I said Clark's used the ball so beautifully all day, and he just
missed
turned
the
it
target.
over.
Missed the target.
I'll give him a break, though, at the 22-minute mark of the last quarter.
Delahunty over the top of the footy.
Just tried
was
hard.
Tackled, so just dribbled it forward. Here's Edwards again, got it to Kitchen. Little chip kick in front of Parker. Good hands. Strong hands from, in fact, it's not Parker, it's Strom. Zach Strom. Leading up to the footy. So he'll have a shot from around 35 metres out. 45-degree angle. Wasting no time. Good looking kick off the boot. Umpire did not move. Another goal to WA. They go to 11-11. South Australia 18-9 on the IMAR Insurance Tradies Mate scoreboard.
Well, mate, Zach Strom was strong, and then on song. That was a beautiful kick. He never looked like missing. I'll get a little bit of heat on that, what I just said. But anyway, there was...
You've been a poet for long?
Yeah, but it was a terrific lead up. He led straight towards the kicker, which all kickers love. There's nothing worse than blokes leading back, forward, sideways, backwards again, then coming up at the kicker. He just led straight to the kicker and demanded that he put it in front of him, and he did. Took a strong mark because his opponent was right up the you-know-what, and he went back and kicked a really good goal from a reasonably tight angle at about 25-30 metres out, but he didn't look like missing. But it was a good, impressive performance in front of goal.
Got it back to a 40-point margin.
Is that Edwards again?
Yeah, it was Edwards again.
And again.
And again. And he won the free kick. Actually, I reckon that's Connor West. It is Connor West.
So
apologies for that.
Actually quite similar in size and shape.
And hair. And
hair.
Boots.
So it could have been either, but it was West.
Parker flew in the pack. Waiting down was Curran. Tried to handball forward. And WA player's got a hand in there, but the umpire's seen a free kick call play on. Marking on the wing is Hayes.
Yeah, much better second half from Jack.
Goes to Partington in the middle of the Adelaide Oval. Goes long, the McBean direction. Well done by Schlensog. Running onto it is Cam Sutcliffe. And off the ground and through for a minor score. So 18 goals, 10 South Australia, 11-11 WA on the IMAR Insurance scoreboard.
He's not pretty young, Schlensog, but geez, he gets the job done, doesn't he? He's done a terrific job on McBean. It hasn't been easy down there today.
Yeah, it's been great. Coombe back to Gibbs, who was out the back of the pack. Was short to Proud. Still on the centre wing. Campbell Coombe. A short 15-metre kick. Mark that in front of West. So 25 minutes gone, final term. The air's gone out of this game. South Australia will get the victory in this one. But there's still some footy left to go. Kim Dillon has arrived in the commentary box.
Mum and Dad just rock up, mate, did they?
The big game coming on AFL Nation a little bit later. On the outer wing, South Australia go inside 50. McBean on the lead, takes the mark. About 35 out from goal in front of Schlensog that time. McBean will go back and have a shot. About a 45-degree angle.
I feel for Schlensog a little bit because he's been terrific all day. He's really done nothing wrong. And McBean's probably going to end up with 3 goals purely because of the ball movement more from South Australia. I mean, he was right up in behind him then, trying to punch the ball away. It's just the reach that a 200-centimetre key forward's got on him there that was able to take a good mark. And I've mentioned a number of times today what a good kick he is once he gets inside 50 Liam, so be interested to see if he slots this one through. He's got a great technique when kicking for goal.
Certainly does. Kicks from 49 metres. Just fading across, is it? No, it's good enough. Stuck it in, did Liam McBean. He's got his second of the quarter and his third for the day. And South Australia, they're 19 goals, 10, 124. WA 11-11, 77 on the Omar Insurance, the tradies mate scoreboard.
So it's been more like it was in the first quarter, I'd say, this in the last, with it's just been a bit more basketball style ping pong game, where it's just going, no real pressure from either team on the opposition player, just going from end to end. And whoever decides they want to capitalise once they get inside 50 does. And it's just been as simple as that in this last quarter. So, look, South Australia, to be honest, have been the far better team all day.
Yes.
For the exact reason that they use the ball better going inside 50. Simple as that.
Yeah, they've been very good today, the South Australians. Noel got up high on the tap down to Allman. Little left boot kick towards half forward. Hosey ran onto it, put it out in front of Jack Hayes, who took it in the fingertips. And another shot on goal coming up for South Australia.
If you think about the position that Hosey plays as a third, fourth forward, he's got pace, he can mark it overhead, he's a beautiful kick. It doesn't, and he plays probably one of the hardest positions on the ground to play. Yeah. I'd like to really know from my recruiting mates out there why he doesn't get a really good look at it.
Jack Hayes, the skipper of South Australia, puts through another one. They've brought up their 20th goal. They are 20-10. And WA 11-11. It's been an absolute smashing in the end. They've just run away with this in the last quarter. Jack Hayes has kicked 3. And what have we had? We've had 8 goals in this last term for South Australia. As the siren goes, South Australia claim victory. 20-10, 130. Defeat WA 11-11, 77. On the Omar Insurance, the tradies mate scoreboard. Mark Ross, they were a class act and probably a class above WA today.
Yeah, I remember when looking through both teams, as I said, I know a reasonable amount about some of the WA boys, not a lot, but some of the WA boys and what they were bringing over, and I was trying to compare the two squads. One thing about South Australia, as I mentioned, Jade and his selectors, which I thought was really smart. They picked guys, first of all, that can run all day, number one. Sorry, it wasn't number one, it was probably number 2. The first thing they chose was guys who can kick the ball, super competitive, and can run all day. When you look over the ground at the balance of both teams, WA had a number of those types, but not as many as South Australia. Also the experience of the SA boys, Haynes down back, Broadbent down back, Sutcliffe around the footy, Knight around the footy. But then they had the class acts, the Hoseys, the Stengels, Goldsworthy early. How good was Matty Goldsworthy in that first quarter? He set the game up.
Yeah, he was almost the best man on ground for the first half. He was everywhere, especially in that first quarter. And the left foot skills of Matty Golds, who are elite as well.
And then you look at the amount of different goal kickers that SA had as well. So we mentioned with WA that Keitel was really their main forward, and he's kicked 4, which is a tremendous effort. But they didn't have too many after that. The rest was sort of just floating in and out of their forward line, whereas South Australia had Reynolds kick 4, Stengel 3, Hayes 2, Hosey 2, McBean 2. That's Wilkinson 1. They are their forwards.
Yes.
So their forwards have got a plenty good look at it, and they're making the most of the opportunity. So I suppose we better have a break and then come back and analyse. No, we're going to.
No, we don't need a break. We've got plenty of stuff left in the tank here. This is the post-game wrap for Kia, and introducing the all-new Kia Carnival, Australia's first GUV. And for CNF lawyers, what's your claim worth? As the players sort of milling around in the centre of ground and just shaking hands. We'll have the presentation of the Foss Williams medal for the South Australian best player and the Simpson medal for WA's best player, and they'll be coming to you shortly.
Should we take a guess?
Well, let's. I shouldn't really ask you who you voted for before.
No. Well,
I can't really. That's a bit unfair.
Forgetting that, I mean, possession-wise alone, I mean, Jai Bolton's ended with 29 possessions. So we'll just go through the WA possessions first of all. Jai Bolton, 29 possessions, 16 kicks, 13 handballs, 2 tackles, took 3 marks. Delahunty ended up with 25 disposals. He had 16 handballs in the end. You probably didn't notice him that much, did you? Because he had so many handballs, 9 kicks, 3 tackles as well. Adelaide had 22 disposals, 9 kicks, 13 handballs. Kitchen ended up with 20 disposals, which was 7 kicks and 13 handballs.
He came into the game, I think, in the second half. We mentioned at half time he probably needs to get more of the footy, and he certainly did that in the second half.
He did, but I reckon it tells a bit of a story there. Those 4 possession winners, other than Bolton, predominantly were handballs.
Yeah.
Maybe they overused it just a little bit too much against South Australia, and that's where those turnovers occurred because of the tackling pressure that South Australia were able to put on. Clark ended up with 19, as did Rogers, and West ended up with 18. For South Australia, or the SANFL as they like to be called, Bryce Gibbs was their top possession winner for the day in the end with 30 possessions. Matthew Broadbent 29, Riley Knight 28. I was really impressed with Riley as the game went on. Matty Goldsworthy, as we said, he set it up early. I think he had 11 in the first quarter. He ended up with 21 for the game. Luke Partington ended up with 21. Really impressed with Tyson Stengel and Bonsor. Stengel, sorry. I said Stengel. There's a blast from the park. Tyson Stengel. 21 disposals, 15 kicks, 6 handballs, 7 marks, 4 tackles, 3 goals, 3. So if you want to talk about medals, it's Gibbs, Broadbent or Stengel for SA for me. For WA, it's Bolton, Delahunty. I'm going to throw in Clark, but the smoky for them would be Schlensong. I thought he was outstanding down back. I just don't know if they have quite the vision to look down back like they do around the ball.
Yeah, and the MC to the Stars, Jared Walsh, is down there doing the presentations, and we'll find out shortly whether or who the medal winners are. I'm sure that won't be too long before we find that out, but a massive win to South Australia here. 9 goals in the end, and a comprehensive win.
Well, they went. I'll just see if we can hear. Can we hear?
The winner of the Simpson medal
we can.
is Jai Bolton.
There we go. Jai Bolton wins the Simpson medal, and so he should. He led from the front all day. Was outstanding as attack on the footy, and his use of the footy bar, probably 1 or 2 possessions, was pretty much a class act.
So Jai Bolton adds a Simpson medal to his Sandovers.
This afternoon's match, Foss was a 7-time premiership player playing over 200 games for West Adelaide and Port Adelaide. He won 9 flags as coach of Port Adelaide and was SA state captain on 5 occasions and was an inaugural inductee of both the Australian and South Australian Hall of Fame. Would you please make welcome Jenny Williams, daughter of the late Foss Williams, to present the Foss Williams medal to the South Australian player judged best on ground for South Australia in today's game. And the winner of the Foss Williams medal for 2021 is Matthew Broadbent.
I like that. They gave it to Brendan Broadbent. He did set it up beautifully all day. I said Gibbs, Broadbent, Stengel, not in particularly that order, and it was just which one was going to win it. And in the end, the one who's probably a little bit unlucky is Matty Goldsworthy. When the game was hot on the line and needed to be won, he was outstanding.
Yeah, certainly was. We'll listen to Matty Broadbent.
SA and the SANFL. To the WA boys, thanks for coming across. I'm sure you have a great night tonight, and we'll enjoy each other's company. And to our boys and our coaches and everyone at the SANFL, thanks for everything this week. Been very enjoyable. Good game, and we'll enjoy tonight. Cheers, boys.
There we go.
Matthew Broadbent winning the Foss Williams medal, a deserved winner.
Yeah, I think both boys for both teams are deserved winners. Bolton, I reckon, was a clear standout.
Yes.
For the best on ground for WA, and Matty Broadbent. I'm not going to say he was a clear standout because it could have been one of 3 or 4 players for South Australia that could have won that in the end, but I reckon a deserving winner. And if I was actually voting on there, I probably would have put Matty Broadbent as the best on ground for South Australia as well. So Big Jack Hayes, the captain, and Coach Jay Cheedy coming forward to present the cup. We'll just see what they have to say.
Here's Jay Cheedy, the coach.
Thank you. Firstly, to Jeff at WA, thanks very much for coming over. It's a huge trip, and I think it's something that both states are doing really well. So look forward to catching up with you guys for a drink after the game. Congratulations to our boys. Right from the first session, they've really embraced everything that we've tried to do. So great bunch of young men, and thanks very much. Also to our sponsors, Wested and Kia, thanks for your ongoing support. Thanks, guys.
Jay Cheedy, coach of South Australia.
Group from the West End State team to come over here and celebrate. It was a fantastic match, but there can only be one winner, ladies and gentlemen. The winners of the 2021 state match, the West End State team, South Australia.
As they get the cup and will pose for a photo. And a big win here to the South Australians. They get home by 53 points in the end. And deserved winners. We'll just go through those medal winners again here. For the Simpson medal went to Jai Bolton, who best on ground for WA. And Maddie Broadbent won the Foss Williams medal. So let's sort of go through this with a bit of a fine-tooth comb here, Rossi, as we've got a bit of time before we go off air. We talked about the turnovers from WA, and maybe you mentioned the use of handball there. They maybe overused the footy with the hands. Just every opportunity, it seemed that every time they turned over the ball, anywhere from centre, even sometimes behind centre, South Australia capitalised and had a shot at goal.
Yeah, I'd love to see the old stat, goals kicked from turnover. I think you'd find it would be more than 3/4 of South Australian score. And that, as we said earlier in the game, it wasn't just so much that WA kept turning the footy over, it was South Australia made them turn it over from the pressure they had from around the ball. I thought South Australia's on ballers today as a group worked really well. I didn't think they actually had anyone who was, Bryce Gibbs we mentioned, but the rest of them just did their work, and they had to a little bit. Matty Nunn, they lost him in the first quarter.
Yes.
For those who might have missed it, Matty Nunn seems to have done some sort of leg injury. It looks to me the way he's moving like it's a hamstring. And hopefully for Nord and for Matty Nunn and for the South Australian national competition, that the Nord captain isn't too bad. He was smiling after the game and getting around his teammates, as you would expect, but I'm sure he'd be really disappointed that he wasn't able to see the game out. But yes, the Crows midfield, sorry, I said the Crows. The Adelaide, the South Australian midfield in general was just probably on top for most of the day, winning more possessions around clearances in particular. But they were so well led and held together by their backline. Broadbent, Haynes, Proud, Spinner, yes. Spinner. Even the work of Curran back there at times as well was outstanding. I noticed that Jared Allman was pushing back. Gibbs was pushing back at times as a midfielder. I'll tell you the one we didn't mention, and he didn't put a foot wrong, and that was Sam Rowland. And I reckon every time we call